Everybody, Lostboys Cypher Circle is back in session. If you didn't know, now you do. This is the show where I bring artists of all kinds, whether they be digital artists, making art like artwork, or 3D printing, or painting, or poetry, or songs, or rap, or we've had music on here. Finally, thank God. Thanks to my buddy Raph. We had our first musical guest recently. But art of all kinds, anything is welcome. Whether you are an artist, you want to come on here and just have a conversation, we do that too. Actually, in fact, we have a whole show dedicated to that. It is a place where you can come be yourself, free of judgment, and meet some really cool people, some really like-minded people, some really talented people, and just some of the nicest, kindest people you'll ever meet. It's a great place. It's a great therapy session. And yeah, it's just a great way to be yourself and come vibe out. So if you want to come hang with us and share some art, message me on Facebook at Dylan Lawler or email me at lostboy420x@gmail.com. That's Dylan Lawler on Facebook or lostboy420x@gmail.com. Also, make sure you subscribe and follow us on all the platforms, or nearly all of them. Tonight we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can also go follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and YouTube Shorts for extra clips. And I post the audio version of all the episodes on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and anywhere else you find your podcast the following day. So if you want to listen to them on your car ride to work or while you're doing something else, that is also an option as well. So make sure you go follow us and subscribe to us. You can also keep a lookout for our Lost Boys deep cuts. I just recorded another episode, and I got another guest scheduled to record one very soon. But I recorded one with our buddy Ono. We had a great talk. I think it was almost 2, maybe 3 hours long. It was a big episode. And it was a lot of fun. So make sure you go check that out. If you don't know what Lost Boys Deep Cuts is, it's a show where I bring artists on one-on-one to just have a conversation, go deeper into their brain, into my brain, see what makes us tick, and just have a longer, in-depth conversation one-on-one. So keep a lookout for that. Also keep a lookout for our outdoor adventure vlog with me and my buddy Brandon in the woods with GoPros or phones or whatever we can film with, filming ourselves doing fun stuff like hiking, fishing, that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. We've put out a little bit. We've got more for you. Keep a lookout for it. Also, if you want to donate to us at all, you can donate to us on Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, all the same tag, LostBoy420X. Don't forget the X like X-Men, or you'll type in someone else's tag. Anything from 10 cents to $10 helps. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. It is a mouthful, guys. Before we get into the show, as always, because this is our therapy session and because it is a place where we can express ourselves free of judgment, sometimes the things we talk about tend to get a little triggering. And whether that be triggering for the artist or triggering for the audience, no one will discount you in the slightest at all if you choose to click out and come back another time. We do this every Saturday night at 9 p.m. And you're always welcome to click out and come back another time if something on here bothers you. Because like I said, we cover a lot of topics here, and it is, like I said, our therapy session, our way to get our own inner demons out. And the point is not to upset anybody. It is to show that we are all struggling with the same problems and reach out and connect. But we understand, and I have gotten messages that there are some things that on this show that have triggered people. So we always like to give that trigger warning. Also, because this show is very much dedicated to mental health in a lot of ways, I always try to start the show with my best personal piece of advice when it comes to mental health, and that is don't keep it bottled up. Don't keep that shit inside. Let it out. Find someone to talk to. And I know the hardest part about being in that place is feeling like there's no one you can talk to and feeling like no one will understand you. And I'm here to tell you, you're fucking wrong. That's first of all, that's the point of this show. And that's the thing that I found out is that you come on this show and you reach out to these people and you find so many like-minded people that understand what you're going through and are willing to talk to you and connect with you and help you through it and vice versa. But also there are people in your own life, whether you think so or not, a coworker, a family member, your cat, your dog. There are people that will listen, and sometimes the best thing you can do is just let it out. Um, so I urge you to reach out to those people, whether it be me, artists on the show, or people in your own life. Don't keep it bottled. Reach out. And if you're looking for some professional resources to look out, to reach out for, you can reach out to lifelinecrisis.com or their text hotline, which is 988. You can text them for resources. I think they have trained professionals on hand to help you, certain things like that. So, if you're looking for some professional help, go check them out. Also, if you're looking for some professional therapy, you can go to betterhelp.com. This is not a paid sponsorship, though I hope it will be one day. If we can get the BetterHelp to sponsor us, that would be great. But for now, this is just a place where, if you're looking for something, you can go get some help. It's a place where they hook you up with an online therapist. And the best thing about them is they'll switch you out if you don't feel like you're connecting with the therapist they've hooked you up with. And that's really important because, like I said, the hardest part about being in that place is feeling like you have no one to talk to and no one understands you. Well, that's the hardest part about therapy too, is always connecting with somebody who you're not really vibing with, who you don't really think understands you, so it's hard to talk to them. And BetterHelp will help you with that by switching you out until you find someone who you do vibe with, free of charge. So make sure you guys go check them out. And that is the extent of my announcements, or my spiel, I should say. Um, as per season 2, I have, as requested by the uh, supporters, and I don't like to call you guys fans because it sounds like a dirty word, you know? I don't know. People really mistreat and disrespect their fans nowadays. I like to think of you guys more as a family or friends. But anyway, you guys have requested that I start doing my pieces at the beginning of the show because some don't stick around till the end. And I have answered your call, and that is what I'm going to be doing from now on. So this piece is called I gotta get this fucking incense out of my face. I thought it would set a good atmosphere, but it's like too much. um this poem is going to be one of my spoken word pieces. I've been doing quite a bit of rap lately. I can't remember the last time I shared a spoken word piece with you guys. I have shared this one in the past, but I'm not sure how many people remember it. But yeah, here we go. This is one of my favorite that I've ever personally written. Um, it is called 10 Responses to the Question, How Old Are You? Which, especially when I was younger, it has to do with my writing on a more intellectual level when I was younger, and also the fact that I had a full-grown beard at 13. I got asked that question a lot. How old are you? How old are you? And I just got tired of hearing it. So I wrote a poem about it. And it goes like this. 10 responses to the question, how old are you? 1. Old enough to know better and young enough not to care. That is to say, old enough to know that most people aren't going to listen to someone my age, but young enough to speak anyway. Old enough to know that I should probably keep my mouth shut so I don't upset anyone, but young enough that the world hasn't silenced me quite yet. 2. Give me a straight razor and I will gladly shave away my masculinity so that you can see the boy beneath it. I will gladly shed this manly skin that I have been forced to grow into to meet your expectations. The question is, will you still recognize me afterward? 3. Do you judge a basketball player by the number of games he's played, or do you judge him by the number of shots he's made and or missed? Do you judge a book by the number of chapters it has, or by the story it's told? Do you judge a mother by how many kids she has, or by how much she loves them? Do you judge a poem by the length of the prose, or by how it made you feel inside? Do you ever just stop judging? 4, don't ask me about the places I've gone or how far I've traveled. Ask me what it took to get there. Don't ask me how many scars I have. Ask me how I got them. Don't ask me how many people I have had time to love. Ask me how much I loved the ones that I have lost. 5, who do you think knows more about being a man? The 18-year-old who just left his family, his friends, and his life behind to get shipped off to Afghanistan so that he can make sure that the same people he's leaving behind can have freedom and safety and security, even if he can't be with them to share it? Or the 21-year-old in the bathroom of some dive bar in the suburbs of Northern California throwing up his first scorpion bowl? 6, give me a cup, and I will fill it with the tears I have shed over the years and the ones that I have yet to shed, so that that 21-year-old can get drunk off my pain and tell me that his glass is still half empty. 7, put on my put on my shoes and tell me there's still a size too small for the adult section at Walmart. Then walk a mile in them and show me the bruises and the blisters on your feet afterward. Stand above me and tell me I still have some growing to do, but not before you've seen me at my lowest and been there to witness how far I've climbed. 8, when giving a presentation on what a man should look like, please, for the love of God, don't show me another Coors Light commercial with 2 men sitting on the beach having a cold one. Don't show me another Ram truck commercial that proclaims in big, strong, bold capital letters, "This truck can move mountains." Don't show me a cereal commercial that lies and tells you that tricks are for kids. Show me the magic of believing that rabbits really can be pulled from a hat. Show me childish fantasies and make pretend games. Show me backyard playdates with friends you thought you'd have forever. Show me the picture you drew in school when your teacher asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up and you didn't quite know. Show me the list of people who actually accomplished the goal that they're and show me the list of people who knew. Show me the list of people who actually accomplished that goal and are living their dream today. Show me the list of people who are still trying. Show me the list of people who gave up. Show me the list of people who got caught up in life and just forgot about it. Show me the lessons you learned along the way. Show me the Nerf dart your brother accidentally pegged you in the face with at 5 years old because you hadn't quite learned not to trust your older brother yet. Show me the blanket fortress that taught you not to let anyone in. Show me the metal park slide that taught you to cover yourself up so you don't get burned. When giving a presentation on what a man should look like, introduce me to a boy who feels like he holds the weight of the whole world on his shoulders. A boy who knows that there's still magic in it anyway. A boy who knows that his dreams are still possible. A boy who was forced to learn life's hard lessons early on and has the scars to show for it. Introduce me to a man who believes he can move mountains all by himself because, God damn it, it wouldn't be the heaviest thing he's carried. 9, back in my day, we didn't ask such judgmental questions. We just accepted people for who they are. 10, old enough to know that life is far too short to get hung up on such trivial things as age, and old enough to know that I have far too much left to experience and not nearly enough time. And that is that piece. I apologize that I completely fucking fucked it up, but hope you guys appreciated it. That being said, I'm gonna bring up our first guest tonight, which is actually our newest member of the family, our newest guest on the circle. So give me a minute to pull his information up here. There we go. All right. The newest member of our family goes by the name Chris Foster. He is a poet. He's got an Instagram you guys can go follow. It's Original Poetry. That's original_poetry. He's also got a website and a merch shop to go with the website. The website is poetryroots.online. That's www.poetryroots.online. And you can also visit the merch shop, which is boss hyphen up-apparel-3.creator-spring.com. I know you guys aren't going to get that on the first try. That's why this is recorded. You can play it back. And I also have it written down on his flyer for you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to play his flyer for you guys and get him up here. And let's all welcome Mr. Chris Foster to the circle, everybody.
Hey, thank you for bringing me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right, all right. I mean, I'm glad to be doing this. This is like my favorite thing to do. So, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I was looking forward to being on this show. So, it's a really, great honor to be on, a really awesome show and share my poetry, get my voice out there, get my poetry out there. Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, I enjoy writing poetry. I heard you talking about mental health, and I'm an advocate of mental health because a lot of my poetry is inspired by my by mental health, um, different challenges that people go through. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's how I started writing poetry. Just it's as a form of therapy to just find my voice, self-expression, and do something I enjoy. Because a lot of the times, like I spend most of my time just working and just doing the regular thing that most people do, but I want to do something that I can, feel a sense of joy and fulfillment with. Like, I don't want to be one of those people who gets to their 60s, 70s and says, if I can go back and do such and such, I would do this differently, have all these regrets. So I'm going to just write my poetry, publish my poetry books, build my brand, which is Poetry Roots.
Hell
And
yeah.
my Poetry Roots brand is made up of 3 elements: the spoken word, the written word, and the roots of creativity. And that was inspired by hip hop, but it was inspired by a rapper, like an old school rapper. I don't know how many people know this person, I'm gonna say, but his name is KRS-One. And
Okay.
I watched one of his lectures on YouTube, and he's talking about the elements of hip hop, and I thought, okay, this is cool. I can use that same concept with poetry, and that's how I came up with the 3 elements to poetry, which was the spoken word, the written word, and the roots of creativity. And it's in my logo too. So, if you've seen my logo, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's
I actually tried to work it into your flyer, and I just have only so much space to work with there, and I couldn't get your picture and that one to line up in a certain way that looked good. And but yeah, no, I with the mic and the
yeah,
quill, and yeah, it's pretty dope. I wish I could have gotten that up here. Well,
yeah.
next time you're on the show, we'll definitely have your logo up here somewhere for
Okay,
sure.
cool, cool.
For sure. Well, yeah, man, that's awesome. I honestly, I really appreciate what you're doing, because I mean, as far as just, that's what this started as for me, a therapy. Before I was ever a podcast host or it's a therapy. It's a way to get my own thoughts out there. And, you know, at the point where I realized that I could start helping other people with that, is the point when I really like decide, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And
Yeah,
so I really vibe with that. I really appreciate that, because like, before, first and foremost, it's a therapy, but then when you realize how many people you can reach out to and help and connect with, and it becomes a whole different thing. And I really appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
I remember my first my first performance as a poet. When I was during my college days, I was in community college, and we put together this event. It's called the talent show off, And I thought, I'm going to share my poetry on stage. I'm going to challenge myself to go on stage in front of people and read my poetry for the first time, and just prove to myself that I have what it takes to, break out of my shell and express myself. And I did that. Most of my classmates doubted me, but I showed myself and them that I'm not what they thought I was. um, After that, I began to just read poetry, and then I was published in some magazines. Um, and then eventually, I built my own poetry brand and started building from there. So that's how I came up with Poetry Roots. I remember when I wrote my first poetry book. My first
Mm.
poetry book was called "Soul of My Words, Heart of My Mind." I'll type it in the chat, but it's on my
Is it-
website.
yeah,
The
is that
first
I was gonna say, is that up on Poetry Roots website?
Yes.
Cool,
Yes. When you
cool.
click on the books and merch tab, you'll see like at the bottom is my first poetry book. It's called
Oh,
Soul
wow.
of My Words, Heart of My Mind. I don't know if
Nice.
you can show it on the chat, but I'll type it.
It if you well, if you put it in where it says comments, then yes, I can put it up there. But if you put it in the private chat, then it won't let me.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but if you put it in comments, or if you put it on YouTube, then people can see it in the comments of this video. Or you can send it to me and I will post it in the comments of this video as soon as we get done here. Or while somebody, if I have time while somebody is doing their piece, I can do that. But yeah, definitely get that link out there for you, man.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I tried, but it didn't work. It won't let
that's all
me
right. Well,
send it.
well, well, you know what? You can send it to me, and I'll put it in the comments of this video later for sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna get into my first poetry piece, and a little bit of
All right.
history behind this poetry piece is I actually did a whole documentary based on the title of this piece, which is called "I Am Poetry." And if you go on my website, Poetry Roots, on the landing page, the home page, you'll see it as you scroll down. You'll
Like you
see
fit like a,
I
a,
am.
a film documentary.
Yes, I work
Oh,
with the
nice,
real.
dude. That's really cool.
Yeah, I work with the actual film crew in his studio, and I did like the recording. It's a really fun project. I work with like a camera crew, and I
That's
wrote
dope.
the script myself. So I do have
Dude,
a
hell yeah.
background in film production, and I do have a YouTube channel too. So I can just send you all that stuff later. But
Yeah, yeah,
um,
absolutely, absolutely, and you know what? For sure, next time, obviously, I mean, you kind of hit me up. What was it? Either yesterday or earlier today, and it was kind of like last minute. I got you on here, but next time, we'll definitely be a little more prepared and have your logo and more of the things that you had wanted to show us up there for sure, bro. Um,
okay.
yeah. So the first one's I am poetry.
Yes.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna get myself out of here and I'll let you get to it.
Okay. I am poetry. I am the roots. I am poetry. I am the essence of expression, the embodiment of my creative style of writing. I am the pain, joy, and beauty of all the ups and downs I have experienced throughout my life. I am the spoken words I write. I am the spoken words I live. I am poetry. I am the seed, the water, and light that helps my poetry grow. I am the creative vessel that houses this poetic soul. Yes, I am poetry. Every poem is like fruit produced on the branches of a personality. Behold the roots that run deep, purifying toxic impurities of modern society. I am poetry.
Hell yeah, man. That was awesome. I mean, so the first thing I'm gonna say, and now you haven't met her yet, and you'll meet her a little bit later tonight. But right off the bat, that reminded me of another guest we have on here, Neela. She's always writing these, and for the title was the first thing that reminded me, and that is you'll see early later when she performs. That is the like, I mean that in the best way possible, as like the best compliment. Um, but she writes these very like that poem was very like a I like when an artist is able to personify. Personification is a very underutilized tool, I feel like. And it is when used correctly, it can be fantastic. And I the mind blank I had just a second ago was I was trying to think of an example of one of her pieces of what I was talking about, but she has a lot of pieces that are named just like I am this, I am that, or and just like uses personification fantastically, just like you did in that piece. And I loved that you use such an underutilized tool in that way, and I love the fact that um, you know you embrace art as not just a thing you do or a hobby, but as a lifestyle, as a whole part of you. You were saying, "I am my art. I am the words. I am the phrases. I am the metaphors. This is me." And so that's the other thing I love is that it was just the truest expression of yourself and the truest expression of your art. And I love how you did that through the work of you know, metaphor and personification and yeah, that was just very, very well done. Um, and I am anxious to see what these other artists think about it. I'm gonna get them up here real quick. Let's see if it will work. Fucking computer. Here we go. So we'll go one by one. Nilo, what did you think of his piece?
Oh, I love titles. So that one was great. I am poetry. I like um poetry like that. And then the words, the details of the poetry, and the fact that you made your whole entire poetry, your artistry, a brand that you created for yourself. Like this is you. And
Mhm.
the poem reflected that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was kind of struck dumb for words, but I was trying to you kind of did you under kind of like get what I was trying to say? Um
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
when it um I'm lost for words, but Neela, your titles is kind of what I was trying to get at, and how you kind of base your each poem has a concept, and you base this concept around this title.
Yeah.
And I really like that structure. And
Yeah.
he had that structure where it was like the title is sets the whole premise.
Yeah.
Is it's the thesis, the premise, the everything, and then you build off that, and you write like that a lot too. That's kind of what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, anyway, Brendan, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I think you're hitting it on the head with the personification there, and going into what you're talking about with your branding, and it really just kind of just melds in with that. And I am all of these different things. So yeah, I like it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Randall?
Yeah, it was a mini manifesto, the sort of a clarion call of the soul, allowing you to sort of define yourself and give yourself direction. It sort of reminded me of the existentialists like Sartre, who's like, you can look at the universe and sort of decide like, okay, this is the purpose in life. I'm not going to let society dictate that. And you got into a little bit of that before you started reading the poem. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, see, that's what I want to say. That's you just said everything I was thinking. I was gonna say, mention like my whole life is a poem. So I want to write that down. That's like part of my brand. And also too, like um poetry roots isn't just for me, it's for all poets, all artists, all people who don't know that they're artists, but they are artists. Those people who feel invisible, those people who feel like they don't have a voice, just like I did when I was younger.
Those who
Just so
are
many
those who
different things.
are you could say maybe lost.
Yes, that too.
Us boys and girls.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man.
You know,
I really appreciate that.
For those who feel like they don't fit in anywhere, like they don't really fit into society, there's no way to define them. It's just that's what Poetry Roots is. I wanted to expand it, beyond myself, but make it into a community, whether it's online or offline.
Absolutely.
So
Hell
that's
yeah,
why I
man.
built the Poetry Roots website.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean that you're definitely gonna fit in here, man, because that's we have like missions. Or what does that say? What is that saying? Uh I can't think of it. But as artists, I've often said that we are kind of soldiers in a war, and the more the merrier, because we're stronger in numbers, and the more people we have fighting for this cause of, just spreading our art and connecting with other people and lifting other people up through our art, and in turn having other people lift us up through their art. It's a beautiful thing, and I think that we don't have enough of it in the world, and we are kind of art. Art is the one thing that's going to survive. It's why we have history. All the tablets, the cave drawings, those are the pyramids, those are all art. Art is the one thing that will stick around. Music, stories, that is the one thing that will stick around for thousands of years. And so as artists, we are, not only the purveyors of history, but kind of soldiers in a war against, though we use social media now to get it out there. We're kind of fighting against the whole, just keep your head buried in your phone and don't, because there's two types of social media, right? There's a social media like this where we get on here and we connect with each other, and then there's a social media where you're just completely disconnected and you can say whatever the fuck you want in the comments because you're never gonna meet that person, and you're just so disconnected. It's 15-second videos, you're just scrolling, and you know what I mean. And I feel like as artists, we're kind of fighting a war against that, not only the evils in this world like racism and injustice, and but we're also fighting a war against TikTok in a way, you know. And I appreciate anybody who's part of that mission and part of that war, as you could say. That's awesome.
Mhm. Yep. I also want to show this hoodie that I designed.
Mm.
It says "Revolutionary Poet." Oh wait, can I?
Oh, that's your logo. That's your logo right there
Yeah.
with the mic and the feather and the quill.
Yep. So my camera is not really big enough to show the whole thing, but this is like a hoodie. It's on my website, my merch store. It's available on my merch store, but it's this specific hoodie says "Revolutionary Poet."
Nice. Nice.
Oh.
That's dope, man. Hell yeah. We'll definitely go check out this man's merch site and go check out his website, and we will catch him again in a few for his next piece. And with that, I am going to get us to our next guest of the evening. Fan favorite, one of my favorites, and regular and OG guest on the show, Miss Neela McSwain. The sunshine of the Lost Boys, we like to call her, because she just shines so brightly with her energy, and affects us with her rays of sunshine every time she comes on here. She's got an infectious personality, an infectious smile, and an infectious style of poetry. And, that is where the Sunshine and Daisies end, because her poetry is no holds bar, man. She don't pull no punches. She gives it to you straight, and sometimes you're not gonna like what she has to say. But she is very, fire and water, lion and lamb. You're either getting one or the other. And she's, I guess, a person of extremes in that way. Is either extremely nice or extremely blunt, and I love it. You guys can follow her on TikTok at PoetryRose42. You can follow her on Instagram at PoetryRose1, and you can follow her on Facebook at Nilo McSwain. And I'm gonna play her flyer and get her up here. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay. Oh,
This poem is called Feed Me, Seymour. CC, I'm black, but I'm a nigga though. I'm why they systematically want to teach me as inferior, the quest to make women submit. 'Cause I'm black, but I'm not a nigga though. I know I'm better, and all they try to be is what came from me. So I don't conform, I watch and observe. 'Cause I'm black, but I'm a nigga though. I'll make the call to cleanse and install a new world order. The one they destroyed, I'd make it come back. The alpha male would be the king he is, as his alpha goddess watches in silence. I am Mother Earth, 'cause I am black. Yes, I'm a nigga though. The worship and takeaway of intellectual property. The spirit they call Jesus, which means justice. I am a nigga, but I ain't a nigga though. 'Cause I'm black, and I'm a nigga. When you understand this, you'll know what is amiss. That poem is called Feed Me, Seymour.
oh shit! I forgot that was the one that was that was the flyer I had for you, and I just love that was the one that played after the introduction that I gave you. I gave you this introduction, and then one of the first words is the N word.
Oh my God.
That's great.
I'm being a lamb today. I'm being a lamb.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
that one shocked me too. I was like, oh my God, maybe I should have sent him a different one.
I forgot that was the one I had on here for you. And honestly, I was getting the show set up, and I found that one. I was like, oh yeah, I have a flyer for Neil. I'll just put that one up here. But I know that I've done a few for you, and some of them are a little more tame than others. That one was a little more on the aggressive side.
Oh, I loved your piece.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really good. I love the different style. I love the different style of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're normally rap, so it's like that was different. That was more internal. Your emotion came out in it, so I love that.
Right. I wrote that when I was like 15 or 16. Like I
Wow.
said, because I always gotten asked like, how old are you? Because I had the full grown beard and whatnot, and just it was also what I was writing. I'd write a piece, and they'd be like you just said, wow, you wrote that when you were 16, right? Because from a 22-year-old, or it's not that surprising, but from a 16-year-old, it's a little more surprising that they can be that intellectual, and that not honestly, really, I think what surprised people was not the intellectual, it was not how intellectual I was, but how introspective I was, because a lot of teenagers aren't that self-aware.
Yeah, you were really I got that from your piece. Like, you had questions amongst the questions, and the answers weren't being given. So
Right.
it's
Yeah, no, that, I mean, it was a list, but it was funny. Yeah, I like how you just said that, because it was, and I often find that the best way to answer somebody's question is with a question.
yeah.
I often find that, and that was just me, answering their question with questions. And but here's the thing: the point of each of those questions that I asked was, when they think of the answer to that question, they will know the answer to the question that they asked.
Yeah.
That is the and the answer is, it doesn't fucking matter how old I am.
It really doesn't.
And that's the answer, right? And that's just, and literally that's the point of that's the whole point of the piece. It doesn't fucking matter, asshole.
Fact or not. It's one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate the I know I didn't bring everybody up on screen after my piece, but I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. No
That's awesome.
problem.
Well, it's great to have you back. What you been up to?
Honestly, I just, I'm staying consistent with writing the poetry and kind of building a following. So
Yeah, you
but
are.
I'm getting those requests like, you should write a book, you should write a book, you should write a book. And I'm like, I have plenty for a book. So I'm like,
You could put out 3. You put 3 poems out a day.
I
That's
try.
daily.
Right.
That's
Like today, but yeah, I try. It's just a way to help the anxiety and get my emotions out and stuff like that. Because I'm an advocate for schizophrenia and things of that nature. I have schizophrenia, and so yeah, that's really it keeps me balanced. It really does. It really does.
I gotta say, you're really doing a great job. I mean, you are the most frequent poster on the Lost Boys Facebook page, above me, above anybody else. You are the most frequent poster, and every time I look at my notifications, I mean, it's most often you. It's most often you when it's going off in the middle of the day. It's most often you, and you post regularly, and I mean it's amazing that you're that consistent, because and truth be completely told, I am not that consistent with writing or with posting.
Yeah.
I am, and lately, I'll give another little secret here. Lately, I haven't been as consistent as I normally am with writing. I've been very focused on work, and just when I'm not focused on work, I'm just trying to sleep and then get what I can done for the show, so that I can actually still run the show for you guys. But yeah, I have been a little inconsistent with writing, and it just amazes me how much you're able to like a machine just pump out, and you're not losing quality either. You're not there's no quality loss from the quantity that you're pumping out, and that's fantastic. And
I love.
read a
I really
book.
love writing. It's my way to express myself in a world that's nuts. So I absolutely love writing. Writing is my talent, period. So yeah.
Yeah, your poetry book would be just, I mean, fantastic. Because you have you write about so many different topics. Every piece is a different topic. It's a different perspective. It's a different style. It's a different uh, rhyme scheme, flow. Sometimes it's spoken word. Sometimes you're rhyming. Sometimes you're being aggressive. Sometimes you're just you sound like a Lady Shakespeare. Like, it's such a vast variety of shit that you do, and yeah, a book from you would be amazing, amazing. Yeah, I definitely, I'm gonna start getting in the hype train of that. Every now from now on, everything that you post, I'm gonna jump in the comments. Where's the book? Where's the book? We're
Oh,
waiting. We're waiting. Where's the book?
I'm gonna have to get on that then, aren't I?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I will be the first to buy a signed copy.
Yeah.
You can ship it right here. I'll make, you know what? I was actually thinking, and I don't know like how viable this would be, but
Mhm.
like like radio shows and stuff, they used to have like PO boxes, and some people have like some podcasts have like PO boxes you can send stuff to. I was thinking about making like a Lost Boys PO box, but I don't know like in 2024 how much that people would actually use that or not, but that it might be cool, and it also might,
All those influencers who get stuff.
right, and
I
better for
support-
not putting my actual address out there too,
yeah,
um
address. Yeah, just a PO box, something for Lost Boys.
yeah, I was thinking about that. That'd be cool. It'd be cool. Well, I'll get on the PO box and you get on the book.
Okay.
All right. Well, what do you got for us tonight?
Okay, the first piece is called Beginning and End.
Beginning and end. Okay. And I assume that it has a beginning and an end.
You'll see.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna drop myself ahead of you and let you get to it.
Okay. This poem is called The Beginning and End. Oh, the sweet water that quenched my thirst as I created the seas and oceans. I had to rest in the seventh day with a full belly of fruit as I walked with all who were two by two. I was alone, yet enjoyed seeing the happy in the design of forever. Two walking together as one to harness one in the act of love. I never seen this joy in all my lives, so it never escaped my DNA. He willed his need for me, so I walked in destiny to find the we, It's the end now, so we have to find the hearts, the beat that beat for each other. They say the same thing. Once blurted out, the call is answered. Star-crossed love to ignite the power of all power, to rid the world of the worm of darkness and detest for what is pure. This creature was made in prison to take away all that God's design. Once this union happens, nothing will ever change into this world again. And the makers who unleash this snake will wear the shame all day, while the original design stays in place forever to stay. That poem is called Beginning and End.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, I was tame today.
I like that. Well, I mean, it had a tame flow, it had a tame style, but I think there were deeper underlying messages there that were not so tame. And in you went into religion, and that's always it's always going to be a touchy topic, no matter how you're presenting it. Um, I really liked that, but at first at first I was struggling to see see, because when we first started the poem, I thought it was from the perspective of God, and then I like, as the story progressed, it what so was it from the perspective of the devil, or was it from this perspective of like the snake, or was it like, what are we look how are we what lens are we looking at this through?
It's a little bit of everything. You have to realize I love the world of art, and I love romance movies. I love horror movies. I love dark love. You'll say that, okay? So beginning, yeah, it's coming off like, oh, okay, I was there in the garden, and I had to rest and all these things after making all these creations. So the beginning is kind of biblical, and then it goes into a destiny, and then it goes into a star-crossed love, and then it goes into the end. What is it? Is it a star-crossed love, or what's going to ignite the power of all powers? And is it the devil's perspective, or is God the devil, or is devil God? It's just an
And
interpretive.
that's the first time, I mean, you you told the story of Adam and Eve without even mentioning their names. Like,
Yeah,
that was really cool. Like,
yeah.
I mean, in essence, you told the entire story of Adam and Eve without ever mentioning their names or individuals, and just in talking about uh based you based it around concepts and sights and sounds, and you really, it was an immersive piece,
Yeah.
it was a immersive perspective piece, and I really like that. And that's one of the things I like most about your writing, like I was saying, is that you write a lot of these perspective pieces, that were meant to see through a certain lens, and that's why I like the idea of a book by you, is because you know
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, those old things where they have like a bunch of different colored lenses, and you can like flick them open to see different or whatever. It's like, your poetry is like one of those. Or is it like a kaleidoscope? I don't know, but
I have a little chant called Kaleidoscope. It
it
makes me feel better when I'm feeling high anxiety. But
but
yeah,
you have so many layers, and it's like these layers of different lenses with, like different uh what's the magnification, with different magnification, right? You flip back one, and you each one that you look through lets you see things through a different perspective, and but you can see through all of them simultaneously, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah.
It,
Or
it,
I
it
just tell
is
my perspective on all these different topics. Maybe that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I really, yeah.
But
I'm
that
gonna
represented the beginning. The
I
Adam and Eve stuff, it represented the beginning, and then the end is it the star-crossed love? So if you caught that, I don't know.
no, I did really love that, and I kind of like, I love how I was calling you like Lady Shakespeare in the beginning too. Because that had, it had biblical tones, but it also had very Shakespearean tones as well.
Yeah.
And I think the term star-crossed lovers was like,
Shakespeare. Yeah.
if not invented, but coined by Shakespeare at least.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, yeah. I know.
Very
I love that piece. That was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna bring these other artists up to see what they thought about it.
No problem.
Randall, what'd you think?
I like how it was layered. I kept trying to, pin down what was going on. Then I realized, oh, okay, so she's doing poetry. She's being poetic. There's multiple things going on here, and that's always fun. It's one of those I'd probably want to read like 2 or 3 times in a row and sit down and contemplate. So I enjoyed that. I enjoy the cerebral poetry like that for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's the best. That's the best kind. Shit that makes you think. That's what it's here for. Yeah, fantastic. Brandon, what'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Kind of the Adam and Eve devil, stayed in my DNA through all of my lives, implying the infinite, there that I've been reborn, and maybe not. I don't know. That was the question I had. Is that something that you were saying there? Is that I don't know.
Rebirth and reincarnation and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
My belief stance in, I believe in everything until it shows me it's not real, so I just write like that too. Why not believe in everything versus, I have poetry where I'm talking about hopping on Mars's mushrooms and stuff like that. So, I write, just with no limits, put it that way. No limits. So yeah.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Chris, what'd you think?
I thought that was really, creative, thought provoking. It was just really. I would just say it's really freeing that someone can express themselves, without any boundaries, and just let them know, what you feel, what you think, and express your experiences through your writing.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic piece. As always, it's a joy to have you here, and we can't wait for your second piece. And we'll catch you again in a few minutes.
All right.
And somebody is echoing. All right. Our next guest, some of you may remember him, some of you might not. But oh, hang on. If this will work. Sorry. Technical difficulties over here. Come on. It's loaded up here. All right. My man Randall. Y'all might remember him. He has been on once before. He is an author. And you guys can follow him at Randall. Jesus, what? Sorry, my fucking computer doesn't want us to do the show tonight, apparently, guys. Randall. You guys can follow him at Randall Green on Instagram or on his author page, author website, authorgreen.com. That's author GREENE. You can also follow him at helloauthor.substack.com, where he interviews other authors. As I said, you guys might remember him before. I think he's been on either once or twice before, but he was a great guest last time, and I'm glad to have him back. If I have misstated any of his information since last time, I'm sure he will be glad to correct us or give us the proper information. But with that being said, let's play his flyer and get him up here, guys. Hey, how you doing? Yeah,
Hey.
so I forgot to check with you before the show. Is all that information accurate?
Yeah, my Instagram's Randall Elden Green.
Oh, okay. All right.
Otherwise, yep, we're good. We're good. Yep, this is my third time on.
Third time. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I knew you had been on either once or twice, but I wasn't exactly sure. But
Gotcha.
yeah, it's great to have you back, man. What you been up to?
Oh, just all the summer fun, going out in the tent, and ice cream overdoses, all the fun stuff. Lots of writing done, so it's all been going really well.
Hell yeah. Nice. Nice, man. So I mean, as far as writing, what you been working on there?
But mostly working on the novel, trying to get that cracking. Sent out some short stories for the first time in 2 years. And the piece I'm going to be reading later on. I'm actually not going to read that one right now because my phone's going to die if I read the short story. It's going to be dead by the time I'm done. So I'm going to read the poem first. But yeah, I actually got a short story published in Carte Blanche, Canadian magazine. So. The
Nice.
short,
Congratulations.
yeah. But the poem I'm gonna read though is something that I actually is also new. I wrote this I think last week. So usually I revise years, but I feel like I need to get it out in the world already. So.
Yeah, sometimes there's pieces like that, and sometimes, what I will do is sometimes I'll post them on the Lost Boys Facebook page, or I'll just post like a line or a line here or there of something that I'm working on, just to see people's reaction to it, just to see like, okay, is this good? Am I going in a good direction, or am I crazy? Because sometimes you're too close to it, Sometimes, it helps to just put it out there and get better perspective on it. So yeah, and this is the best place to come and do that, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm biased, being that I am Lost Boy and this is Lost Boys Cypher Circle. I am a little biased, but I try to make it an environment where it's a really good place to come and share stuff. I did, I think it was last week, I did just like a 40-second snippet of a song that I'm working on, which I almost never do that. But it was just this one verse that I was like, I felt it was really strong and I really wanted people to hear it. And the people that I showed it to agreed with me. So I shared it. And sometimes you just, something's, you just got to get it out there. I like that. So what is this one called?
This is Wine and Cheese and Crackers.
All right.
All
That's
right.
interesting. Let me get myself out of here.
The scent of exhaust, floating specter-like with the wind into the headlights, fills the cold cabin of our parked car. Your nylons ripping while you search among the ice-tipped grass. Me still all knuckle around the steering wheel. My breath a hot fog of Cabernet. Is there even a chance that that diamond ring you flung from the window will ever be found? Take in the headlights approaching, will ya? And then the taillights receding. Are you embarrassed? Every few minutes, another person to wonder what you're doing highway side, on hands and knees. Please, just lift your eyes for a moment to the black abyss of farm field, splotched with dirty ice and wrinkles of black snow. Drive off. I could. I could leave you to that seasonal vacancy, or to some heroic gawker, I guess. But I, less drunk, more angry, am just waiting for your white flag, the shameful crawl to car, the clambering into passenger seat, the hard sound of shutting car door. But no, instead, I hear the stabs of your throat, can imagine the drip, drip dangle of snot, and am disgusted, asking myself, why didn't we stay in the warmth of that house, where sacred and jingly tunes bombarded from the stereo, and the host presented a spread of nuts and cheese and meat in the center of his dining room table, where all invited had placed each at least one bottle of unopened wine, and the men were swaying jovially, renewing their wine legs, while the women's mouths were wide with laughter and held glasses ready for a refill. And someone's white-haired dog kept pushing on your hand, pleading for you to please pet me one more time. Yes, pet me one more time. Please pet me another one more time, and just once more after that, and then again and again and again, because trust me, this is so much better, more important than wine and cheese and crackers. Don't you think? Don't you agree?
Ooh, I like that one. Give it up. Give it up for Randall, guys. Man, the first thing that comes to mind that I really enjoyed about that was the imagery and just how vivid and visceral um you know the metaphors were, and how you painted like such a visceral picture of it. I'm a big fan of extreme metaphors, or extreme visceral sometimes um you know bloody or what is the obscene or whatever, violent, metaphors to get a point. I grew up listening to like a lot of Eminem, and a lot of what he says, it's satire, or it's a very it's a very vivid or visceral imagery to describe a point, to get across a feeling. And there's like the killing and the all this stuff that he talks about in his songs. It's visceral imagery to display a point, to get across a clear image. And I love when an artist does that. I absolutely love it, and you did fantastic at that. Just painting that imagery, and bringing me into the moment, and kind of, I mean, you kind of took my mind on like a little trip too. Um, but it was also the way you were reading it. It was the tone of the piece. That's something else I look out for, that I really enjoy from an artist, is the performance and the tone of the piece. And you read that very well, and it had a very what is the word that I'm trying to just it was very intense, but not in a punch you in the face kind of way, kind of in a visceral, like a creepy whisper kind of way, like a eats into your soul kind of way. That's the way you read it. It felt like you were
Felt like
like a knife stabbing into your soul. Yeah, yeah.
like a toxic man sitting in a car with his hands wrapped around the steering wheel in anger, instead of out
It's
there
just
helping
like
the wedding ring.
fucking
Yeah.
yeah. It literally felt like just yeah. It did. You encapsulated the imagery of that feeling, or I should say, you encapsulated that feeling with your imagery so well. And with your tone, that was fantastic. So tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit about that piece. You said that's new.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that written from um a personal experience? Is that a um
Yeah, I'm first and foremost a fiction writer. I've been having a fling with poetry. Don't tell my novel in progress. But yeah, that is a bastardized version of a memory of a actual wine and cheese party where my poor wife got sick, and I had to pull over on the side of the road on a kind of a highway between a small town and the interstate, and she lost her glasses, and I searched that ditch along the roadside for like probably 20 minutes, and then I searched the car again, found it like way back underneath the seat, where we don't know how her glasses got way over there. But yeah, so I took that slightly bad memory, and as a good fiction writer does, I was like, oh, I can stab a knife and then do a little twist to the wound here.
Yeah, I really like that. a great. I think that is what especially an author is supposed to do, right? Take a concept and just make it larger than life, right? Blow it up, make it bigger and better and more impactful in every way. And I think that's what a writer's job is. And I think you did a great job at that. Just the scaling from the actual memory to the piece is this is not life size. It's that like it's definitely scaled up. But I appreciate that as a piece and especially like from a storytelling perspective, that you took a regular experience that you had in your own life and you scaled it up to this kind of dramatized version, you know. And like, and not to me and another artist that comes on here have a running joke about how many times I mention Eminem. But one more time here, that again, like I was saying, is that's like the Slim Shady character and everything that he does in that vein is it's a dramatized version of how he's feeling and because we all have those thoughts of like things that we want to do because we're so angry or like someone cut you off in your traffic, you're like, I just fucking ran this guy right in the fucking, you know what I mean? Like we all had, and anyone who's telling you that those thoughts never crossed their mind, look out for that fucking person because that person's dangerous and they're hiding something. Okay. And I firmly believe this: the people who wear their faults on their sleeve are the least dangerous people. But to get back to my original point, the just taking a feeling and dramatizing it and making it larger than life, for not only a storytelling and entertainment perspective, but to vent out your own feelings, so that you don't get angry and do something else. That's just, I mean, it's fantastic. I love when an artist is able to do that because that's, like I was saying at the beginning, that's what this is. It's a therapy for us. It should be a way that we can, just throw ourselves into our art and live in whatever world we want, especially like as a fictional author yourself, when you're creating fictional stories. But anyway, I feel like I have talked too much. Though it's a podcast and I'm the host. I always seem to talk too much anyway. And I'm gonna get these other artists up to see what they thought about it. All right, Neela, what'd you think? You're muted. Hang on. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There you go. You're good.
I'm so sorry. It reminded me of like a movie. I could see it so vividly, especially the part about the dog. That was like my favorite part because it's like I've been there. You're at a party, you're like, okay, like being nice, and then it's like over and over and over and over again. I was like, oh my god, I totally get it. So it was really good. I liked it. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Brennan.
So I had to write some notes here. So your imagery is just, like, god dang, dude. I was there. Like, you took me there, and I enjoyed that. Like, I smelled your breath as you were breathing, and I could see your breath, and I could smell the red wine on it. I imagine what the White Knight looked like that was going to come and save her as you drove away. I pictured him in my mind because you led me there, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh, what does this fucking guy look like? Like, fucking guy, like, I'll fucking punch you in your face. You're protective of your woman in that regard. So, but yeah, man, great. That's amazing. Less drunk than angry, or how did you say it? Was it?
It was less drunk, more angry.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And that's when I realized I was like, okay, he's not gonna leave here. You know, he's not gonna leave. But yeah, man, great. I enjoyed that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris.
Yeah, I like that it tells a story. Like the poetry piece tells a story. Like maybe you're like at a bar somewhere, and they're just telling a story about a time when something happened and you had to handle a certain situation. Um, yeah, I just like the picture. Like it takes you to a place that you're talking about what you're going through in that poetry piece.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit dangerous because, like, unlike a story at a bar, you sort of want to like end with the resolution. There is no resolution here. In fact, I take us away from the immediate scene. I go to this back to the party and then end on this white dog, and you're kind of wondering. Is the man projecting on the dog? Are the last thoughts the dog? Or is that what he was saying, that there's something better outside of this party and he was wrong and he's blaming the dog, but really it's himself who's to blame?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I can't even. These guys took the words right out of my mouth, though, because like Brandon was saying, you took us there. You drew us into that story, and I think that's the thing I appreciate the most about it, was how vivid and visceral and just there you were. But yeah, man, fantastic piece. That was awesome.
I'm glad it worked. So I
Yeah,
wasn't
absolutely. No, it definitely works. I mean, if freaking the what did you who did you say published it again? I'm sorry.
This one isn't. That's the next piece I'm gonna read.
Oh, the next piece was gonna be published. My bad. Okay. Well, you know what though? I bet if you send this one off, I bet a magazine or company
Straight
will
to the New Yorker.
agree with us. I mean, I encourage you. I mean, there's plenty of websites too. You could throw it up on as well. But yeah, I mean, if you should if you get this into a magazine, it would definitely be great.
I'll let y'all know.
It has that potential for sure. It has that potential for sure.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on, and we'll catch you again in a few minutes. All right, guys. That brings us to our fourth and final guest of the night. Y'all also might remember him. He has been on. I think he's only been on once. He might correct me, but I believe he's only been on once. But from what I remember when he came on last time, he blew my balls off with his freaking. I mean, everything from his cadence to his metaphors. It like has a very it has a very he has a very hip hop vibe, which is like or style, I should say. With his flow, his cadence, and his kind of in your face style, it just real his style really vibes with mine, is what I will say. He's just one of those artists that as soon as I found him and made contact with him, and he sent me his stuff, I was immediately like Caleb when I first met him. I was immediately like, man, I gotta get this guy on my show. I gotta be friends with this guy. I gotta see more of this guy's shit. Like, I immediate fan of his work. And I am so glad to have him back on. He's a poet and an MC. Guys can follow him on Instagram and TikTok, and Twitter or X, if you want to call it that, at _dream_bigs. That's BIGGS and then another underscore. And then you can subscribe to him on YouTube at the same thing, _dream_bigs_. And you can also find his work on Apple Music at Dream Bigs. And he's got a website too, missthemarkrecords.com/dreambigs. So make sure you guys go check him out, and let's play his flyer and get him up here. Hey, man. How you doing?
Good, brother.
Welcome back. It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Very good to be back. Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, that's just like the one thing that I remembered about you was like, I mean, just your style was immediately like someone when you know, if you hear like a song on Spotify or you hear a song on the radio, you're like, oh, who is that? Who's that artist? I got to find more of them. Like you were one of those people for me. And that's one of the things I remember, though you were only on once. So yeah.
Well, awesome.
It's
Yeah.
great to have you back.
I get what you mean. No, I get what you mean. I do that all the time. I'm like, who is this? I got to go and find them.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the best things about this show too is, you know, you're not only finding other people you can connect with personally, but you're finding new artists for your playlist. You know, a lot of these people that I interact with or I have on the show or whatever, a lot of the most of the authors have published works on Amazon or their own websites. A lot of people are up on TikTok or YouTube, or you know, you can go listen to these people, and that's why I advertise you guys' stuff, is because, you know, the other thing that people watch the show for is finding new artists to listen to and new artists to vibe with and shit like that. So that's really cool. But yeah, welcome back. What you been up to?
Well, I would have been back before now, but I've been coaching baseball. I know that you reached out to me back in the spring, and I coached baseball from February until July, and we just got done, and then I took 2 months off, and I got roped back into coaching baseball again, which I was going to take the fall off, man. I got to have some time, you know, I got to have some time, like to do stuff like this, to do stuff I enjoy. You know, I do enjoy coaching. I do enjoy pouring into the kids.
What age group?
They're 10. They're turning. It was nine last season, but my son just turned 10, so they're fall ball 10-year-olds. So they're second year kid pitch, but it's fun, man. We went 12 and 0.
Old enough to be like actually good at the game, but not really. Not really have, you know, the best head in their shoulders.
Yeah,
they're still, like fucking off a little bit still.
Yeah, they're still idiot kids, right? They're still little kids. But we went 12 and 0 this year, so it was all worth all the hard work. We got a little championship ring, undefeated. The boys shaved my head, and it was a big thing. It was fun.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta. I think the best and most important thing in life is finding what your priorities are and making time. I often say that this is a quote I got from my mother who has passed away, but she used to say, there are people that matter and there are people that don't, and the best thing about life is you get to choose who they are, and you get to pour all your energy into the things that matter and save none of it for the things that don't matter. And they can't affect you, they can't bother you. You know, put any energy into them, but and that leaves and a lot of people, it sounds easy, but most people live their lives putting, and I'm guilty of it, you're guilty, everybody's guilty of putting their energy into things that just don't fucking matter.
Right.
But it's great to, you know, find the things that, you know, really matter to you and put your energy into them.
100%.
Absolutely. And that's really cool, man. That's really cool. You know, and I think that, you know, you're helping a lot of kids. I think you're helping kids in a lot of the same way that your art or poetry is helping adults. You know, for a lot of those kids, that baseball, that's their outlet, that's their therapy, that's what they do to go and, you know, either get away from their parents or get away from school and all the bullshit or whatever, you know, just, you know, be active and vent their frustrations. You know, that's what that is for a lot of those kids. And so yeah, you're doing a great thing there, man, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Hell yeah. Well, so you got some stuff for us tonight. What's the first one you're going to be sharing?
I do. I'm gonna give you a choice. You love the Holy Moly one, and that one's about being a kid. So maybe we should just do that one now.
Yeah, perfect segue.
The other one's funny. The other one's like it's kind of designed to be funny. This one's cute too. But let's just roll with Holy Moly.
All right, cool. I'll get myself out of here.
Sure. All right. So this is Holy Moly. I'm Dream Bigs. Forgive me, my throat. I know I told you, but my throat has been messed up. So just forgive me. Holy moly guacamole. 5-year-old me would keep roly-polies in the pocket, homie. What else? Well, besides some roly-polies, a couple Crayolas, some toy soldiers, some sand, and a rocket. Parents hovering over me, asking if I know what no means while demanding that I stop it. 5-year-old Brandon, man, a cannon couldn't stop me. Look at my hand. It's a picture of 5-year-old Brandon my dad took on his Canon camera. You want this copy? No, take it. I got another one. I got a pile of them. And for reference, that other child is my brother Tyler. And while he wasn't quite as wild as me, shirtless, shoeless, climbing trees, dodging bees, I was a comic. I was 5Z, waka waka, coming at you like a kamikaze, living young, wild, and free. But most importantly, and unapologetically, I was me. I remember my papa would smile at me, asking me, "Where's the beef?" I look at him dumbfounded like, I don't know. Where'd you leave it? Was it Sesame Street? Because under the books is where I'm sleeping. And those same words that I've learned have turned into my therapy. I never wanted to grow up, and I wouldn't have if I was aware it'd be so tough. I wish I was still surrounded by giants all B5-4 and just knee-high growing, somewhere I'm not supposed to be in, but still sneak my toes, and in tow is my G.I. Joes, and I'm gonna play while I free my bros and I defeat my foes. I'm getting sleepy. I think I'm about to go night-night and have a dream about oceans and wake up freezing cold because I peed my clothes again.
God damn, man, yo. That shit goes so fucking hard, dude. I mean, and the first thing I love, and I'll just get this right out of the way because everybody who watches the show knows me and knows I'm what I like to call a word nerd, and I'll sit there and I'll fucking break down the bars all day. I mean, your triple and quadruple rhyme schemes there, fucking out of this fucking world, dude. And the way that you delivered them in this slow conversational cadence, just, I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, you're setting up literally here I go with it again, but you're setting up Eminem level punchlines. You're setting up like hip hop, like professional hip hop level punchlines and cadences and like 3 to 4 syllable rhyme schemes at a time in just this slow, measured conversational cadence, and it's just so fucking elegantly and amazingly done. Like, first off, that's what I wanted to get out of the way because, I mean, you are a wordsmith, my man. That is absolute fucking. People don't understand how much like work goes into that shit. And yeah, I just wanted to give you props on just your wordsmithing in general because that is fucking fantastic. And then, part of that is the metaphors, and that's another thing that you I mean, blew me away with on this piece. It's metaphor after metaphor. It like set up punchline, image after image after image after image, and they're all so clear. And I mean, there's parts of it too that are funny, and I'm sitting there laughing, and but it also brings a sense of nostalgia, and it brings a sense of growth as a human being. Like, there's a lot in there. There's so much in there. There's humor, there's introspection on yourself and the world, and how the world has changed and how you've changed with it. And there's just so much in there, man. I love that fucking piece. I love that piece to death. That is so good. That is so good.
I knew you were gonna like that one because I know you've heard it. I've sent it to you, but yeah, that was I'm glad my voice kind of held up here. I've taken some leave. I've got my
you did good. You did good. And
I'm over here doctoring myself up. I'm glad I stuck around because I'm able to see these other amazing artists, and now that I'm here, I'm like, oh man, this is great. This is a good Saturday night as opposed to sitting in there on my phone, like you were saying earlier.
Are you a hip hop fan?
Oh yeah.
And do you listen to any country?
Man, I used to listen to country growing up, of course. Yeah, like old country.
So there's an artist named Yellow Wolf, and I don't listen to a lot
He's
of
from
his stuff.
Bama. Yeah, dude, he's from
I don't
Bama.
listen to a lot of his stuff, but when he first came out, there's this cipher that he did with the Shady Records crew, and it was him on his farm. And I mean, after we're done or whatever, if you want to go look it up,
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
the Yellow Wolf, and you that was the case. And I've never, the only two times I've ever heard a rapper spit in that cadence was you and that cipher. And
I'll
if you
have
go
to look
listen
at
to
it.
go listen to it, and compare it to yours. And because like he's literally, it's him on his farm, just leaning back, leaning back on a car, and it's a freestyle, or it's a cipher, and he's just, but I mean, it's just this laid back conversational piece, and he's like, I got a I got a 3-car garage and he just goes up like what he has, and like it just he literally talks about his farm and his mom, and just he literally describes the whole property of what's there, but it's literally just this laid back conversational piece, and it
Right.
delivered in that exact same cadence. Just go check it out, and everybody else go check it out too, because
Dude, Yellow's dope. Yeah, my favorite
yeah.
Yellow Wolf line is, "I already got 3 cars in the yard that don't run, so why would I want to break shit down for you?" And it's just like, what, motherfucker? Like, what are you saying? And it's like, oh man, you're from Bama. Like, you got a bunch of cars that don't run in the yard. It makes sense. Like,
Yeah, no, I get, but yeah, break shit. Why would I break shit down for you?
yeah, why would I break shit down?
Yeah, no, but no, I mean, just the delivery reminded me a lot of that cipher that he did.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll go and look it up. I remember the Cypher too. I forgot about that one. That was like right when he got signed with them. And
2014. Yeah, 2014.
I think they did it because of him, actually. It was like right around the time, I guess, Slaughterhouse was kind of getting signed to them too, and I think some of them guys were on there too.
Yep. It was the same cipher. Yep. Yeah. And I just Yellow Wolf stuck out to me. Obviously I loved M's and everybody else's too, but Yellow Wolf's really stuck out to me because it was way different than all of everybody. Everybody else was really this like boom bap punchline rap kind of performance, and he was just leaning on the back of his car, telling you about his cars and his yard and his mama, and he's like, he was like, please don't look under the tarp, sir. I'm growing weed from my mama there. Yeah.
Right.
It's just literally just this conversational piece, just describing like his life, basically, where he lives, what he's got going on is, and it's just yeah. But that's a compliment, because he is a multi-platinum selling artist. So that is the best compliment to you, my man.
Yes, I appreciate that. Any comparison to anybody that's ever been on Shady Records is
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. I'll bring these other artists up and see what they thought about your piece. Neela, what'd you think?
I like the style of it. It was of course shocking, because it's like you have a country accent and then you started rhyming. Basically, that's just what it is. Just blatant hip hop and rhyming, telling a story, and it was a good one. It was good. It was done, perfectly. I it's all I could. Done really good. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, thank you.
The shock factor. Yeah.
You don't expect it. That's what I get that a lot from people. They're like, "Oh man, I didn't expect that to come out of you." And not just that piece, but like most of my pieces, they're like, "Oh God, I didn't expect for you to be so deep or whatever." Whatever the piece I'm doing.
For a tight beat, and you nailed it. That's it. and I'm an '80s baby. Okay, so
Same.
I was there when it was coming up, so that was genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Chris, what'd you think?
I like the flow. I like the style. It reminds me of all. It reminds me of all the like the different rappers I listened to growing up.
Mm.
Rappers like Bone Thugs and Harmony, Busta Rhymes.
Mhm.
Who else? There's a few other people that I listen to that that can rap really really fast. I know there's a rapper named Twista. He's from
I mean,
out of
yeah,
Chicago.
yeah.
He raps fast.
Bone Thugs are like when people think of like early Southern rap, like that's but there because it's all kind of like mashed together. But rap used to be like kind of segregated in a way. There was Brooklyn rap, and then there was California rap, and then there was like Middle East, and then there was the southern rap, and then and then you had ICP just being weird. Um,
Right.
but I don't know where ICP is from. I'm not sure. Are they from? Oh, they are from. Yeah, they're from. That's why they beat. I mean, that's part of the reason they beef with Eminem. But yeah. They are from Michigan. I forgot. But yeah, it did have a very like early Southern kind of style to it for sure. And I mean, I guess modern Southern too, because the two people that come to mind like now that kind of reminds me of is one Yellow Wolf, and then I don't know if you've ever heard of Upchurch. Also, you know what though? Have you ever heard of Adam Calhoun?
No.
Adam Calhoun, go check out Adam Calhoun. He's done work with Upchurch. Yeah, he's a
My wife
country,
likes Church a lot.
he's a
I hear
country
him
he's a
sometimes.
country rapper too, I guess you could say. But
Yeah, I hear him through my wife.
yeah.
Or what did you say his name was? Adam Calhoun?
Adam Calhoun, yeah.
He's popping right up.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of followers on YouTube, but if not as many as Upchurch, then pretty close to it. But yeah. A lot of cool guys, in that crew. There's Demon Jones. Demon Jones is cool. Adam Calhoun, Upchurch. My brother would probably be able to name a little more of them. But yeah, they're all kind of in the same crew. They all kind of live either, in Tennessee or one of the surrounding states. I know Upchurch is I believe Adam are both based out of Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they all
yeah.
live up there now, like Struggle Jennings, like all them
Yeah,
dudes.
Struggle. That's who I was trying to think of too. Struggle,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, all them dudes. They all kind of run together. It's like a small little white boy circuit up there.
Yeah, but no, your style definitely vibes kind of in that vein too, which that's also a compliment because they are main part of my playlist. So
Cool. Thank you.
definitely. Randall, what did you think?
So if I'm understanding this poem right, what you've kind of done is you've taken this child's pocket and turned it inside out. You've taken this photograph and you've turned it inside out, and you've taken these memories and turned it inside out for us. And I could just see you unpacking everything from the photograph to starting with the child's pocket, and we're sort of zooming out, and it's sort of an ingenious construction. So bravo with that.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing it reminded me of. Photograph by Nickelback. That's yeah. Look at this. It did though. It had that because it had that nostalgic feel, and it and it, like he starts that song off, with his friends being stoned and like having goofy shit on their head, and like there's a lot of humor, but there's also kind of that like just a little sense of sadness, because there's always a little sense of sadness that comes with being nostalgic.
Yeah,
It's happy. It's a mixture of happiness. It's bittersweet. You know, it's a lot. Nostalgia is always that way, and I like how you captured that bittersweet essence too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that was a great piece, and we will catch you again for your next one.
Sure thing.
But actually, real quick, I do a question of the week each week, and this one is a real simple one. I'm going to ask, we've actually mentioned music quite a bit, so I'm going to ask each of you to give me one song from your playlist or that you'd like to suggest. Tell me why you like it and why you want us to listen to it. And Brandon, you can go first. If actually, you know what? I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll go
I got
first.
it. I can do it.
Oh, you got one? Okay.
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Go ahead.
All right. So I've been listening to Young Dro, Rubber Band Banks a lot lately. And it's the drums, man. It's the dint, dun, 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 dun. Oh shit. He's like outer space balling, put you up on astronomy, mathematically with a pistol. I do trigonometry.
Ooh.
Humbly, yeah, he just keeps going. He kills the whole thing. Staying on that rhyme scheme, but the beat is so hard. It's one of those where you're just like we've got to ride to this, you know. So that's what I've been jamming lately, like in my office if I'm having a bad day, or if I just need to like just get crunk for a minute before I perform a task that I don't want to do. Kind of get
Hell
pumped
yeah.
up.
All right, what's that again? What's the name of it and the
It's
artist?
Young Dro, Rubber Band Banks.
All right, word. All right, go check that out. Neela, you got one for us?
Well, okay. If you're talking about crunk music and it's on my playlist, I've been bumping Master P Bout It for a few days.
You are an 80s baby then.
Oh, I'm an 80s baby, honey. So yeah, that one will get you crunk still till this day. You gotta listen to it, seriously. But on the intellectual side, as far as like rap, like the Shook ones by Mob Deep. So yeah.
All right, Mob Deep. Okay.
Classic.
Where I go check those out, guys. Chris.
I would say Eminem. He has a song out. It's called Phenomenal, where he has this line that says, "Let me self-empower you when you're running out of fuel. I'll teach you how to use doubt as fuel. So what you do is you put the spark to the lighter fluid and something like that. It gets really cool.
Bro, that is dope.
Yeah. Yep.
Put the spark to it, like put the spark to it and barbecue it like Martha Stewart.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, yo, I actually I fucking love that song, and I was just listening to it like either last week or the week before, and I told you earlier that I did like this like 40-second snippet of a verse that I wrote, and it was actually inspired by Phenomenal, and so he wrote and piece that I'm writing, it's called Golden Gloves, and he wrote that song Phenomenal for this movie Southpaw, which is a boxing movie. And it's kind of cool because it's Southpaw. It's about a Southpaw boxer, somebody who hits with their left hand. And Eminem not only hits with his left hand, but also writes with his left hand. You know, he's left-handed, so it's poetic. He says, because the song starts off, I believe, I write with the left, same hand I hold the mic with is a fight to the death. And I could spit the whole song, but I'm not going to, because first I don't want to get copyright infringements, and you know my meter's gonna start ticking up on how many times I fucking mentioned this guy.
Who started him?
Who
started?
Oh man, no, but yeah, no, I love Phenomenal, dude. That it's so empowering. If you're having a down day, if you're having a shitty day, and you need something to fucking pump you up, Phenomenal is the way to go. Like, abso-fucking-lutely. 100%. Oh, fuck. Okay. Randall, suggestion for us.
On my playlist lately has been Animal Collective's Cuckoo, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, just the layers of vocals it's just amazing, encapsulating that idea of going crazy. It's about a guy who's lost his wife and his son in a divorce, and just I mean, if you like percussion, if you want, I mean, it's amazing. If you watch them live, you can see exactly how insane it is. Like the techs keep having to go like screw on the hi-hats again because they keep coming off. So yeah, great song, great song.
Yeah. Everybody go check that out. I'm trying to decide what my suggestion was going to be. Obviously everybody knows that I'd suggest anything by Eminem, so I'm not gonna pick an Eminem song, because it's a given. But you know, obviously go check out his new album. It's fan-fucking-tastic. But I mean, I think that if you haven't, fuck, this is hard. This is hard. All right. I'll pick two. Or you know what? I'm gonna give you guys three suggestions because I can't fucking decide. All right. So my first one is, if you haven't heard it, everybody needs to hear the song "Save Me" by Jelly Roll. I assume most people have heard it by now because it has been big on the radio. He is a big artist. But if you have not heard Jelly Roll, any of his music, especially "Somebody Save Me" or it's called "Save Me," go check that out. I mean, it is fantastic song. It changed his life. It changed my life. It's amazing. And go check him out in general. Also, go check out "Don't Let Me Go" by MGK. I think that it's one of the most open and honest songs he's ever written, and I like the direction he's going in, and think that he's really being more expressive and open as an artist, and I really fucking like that. And he does this cool thing in "Don't Let Me Go" where the percussive element in the background is markers on a table, and he works that in. He records it and then loops it in the beat, and makes it the percussion in the track. So that's really cool. And then go check out the song "Temporary," which is on Eminem's new album. He made it for his daughter. Well, you know those try not to laugh challenges. This is a try not to cry challenge. If you can listen to that song without crying, you're a stronger person than me, because that song is a fucking heart wrencher. You'll go check those out. That's my suggestion list for the week, I guess. Thank you, Brandon. We can get that off of here. And we will get that being said, we will get back to who the fuck went first? Wasn't it Neil?
Oh, I did. I went first.
Oh no, Chris went first and then Neil. Yeah. My bad. All right, man. What's the second piece you got for us?
The second piece is called "When I Tell My Story."
All right, cool. Well, I'm just gonna get myself out of here and let you tell your story then.
All right. When I tell my story, the past unwinds. Poet me, poetry, that's the treasure you'll find. A narrative woven from threads of joy and tears. As words flow forth like a river stream, I relive each moment, relive each dream. The highs and lows, the twists and turns. A story of growth, of lessons learned. When I tell my story, I find my voice. Whether you listen or not, that's your choice. I said, whether you like me or not, that's your choice. At the end of the day, I'll tell my story. I rise with the sun. I let my melanin grow, rhyming and vibing as if I did it before. Where every thread is a memory, a moment, a choice. The fabric of my past is fragile, prone to unraveling, yet resilient, for it has shaped the person I am today. I find solace in the knowledge that I am not alone. With each spoken word, I confront the ghosts that haunt me in my mental home. When I tell my story, memories unfold with every word. A chapter is spun of laughter, tears, and lessons learned begun.
Give it up, guys. That was awesome, man. I mean, I the thing that I love the most about that was that it was just the truest expression of self and accepting of self. Um, and I'm going to say that again: expression of self and accepting of self. Those are two different things, and two very important things. And to express yourself properly, you have to first accept yourself. And in that piece, it felt like that's what you had done. We have another artist on here, and it kind of became the slogan, at least last season on this show. Brandon, can I get an on? Yeah, thank you. On me. She did a piece. The artist is poetless Shakespeare, and she did a piece called "On Me," and it was very in the same vein of just owning herself and being her truest self, no matter what anybody fucking thought, and speaking her truth, telling her story, no matter what. And that is such that's such a big part of me and a big part of what I do here and what I try to that's the point of the show, is to get people to come on here and be their unapologetic selves, free of any judgment and free of feeling like they're going to be judged at all. And I love that the first time you come on this show, you are embracing that and embracing yourself as an artist so purely. That is fucking amazing, man. I love that. So on me. So that's our slogan. And that shit was on you, man. That was dope.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah. So while you're talking to me, I'm actually writing my new poetry piece. It's called "My Life is a Poem," but I'm not going to read it here because we're only reading 2 poems. But the next time I come on, I'll read it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. Literally every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You have a free Saturday night, you hit me up, let me know. I mean, to let you and to everybody else know, we are free. We are open going into we're going into September. Yeah, we are completely open going into September. So anybody wants spots, come and get them. Come and get them. Text me, hit me up on Facebook or lostboy420x at gmail.com. I mean, yeah, but yeah, mostly Facebook is the best way to reach me. And yeah, man, you are welcome back anytime.
Okay.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, we're gonna get into this next piece. Oh, hold on. Well, actually, sorry. First, I'll bring the other artist up. I'm sorry. After about an hour and a half, my brain starts getting laggy, and I forget where I am. My computer's doing a better job than my brain is right now. Oh man. Before we get to the next artist, we're gonna see what these artists thought about your piece. Neela.
I enjoyed it. Per usual. I like when people have a stance or a aesthetic about their poetry, and you seem to have one. It kind of mimicked your first piece. So yeah, I liked it very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It was kind of along the same lines. My favorite line is, forgive me, my throat. My favorite line is, when I tell my story, memories unfold like they're like you're flipping through your book and of your life, and pouring those pages out, and they're kind of just and what I imagined was they're just falling out, and those were the words. This is what you're describing. So good job. I like it.
Thanks. Oh, that gives me an idea. Like if I do a YouTube video about that and just have like a scrapbook and then like the pages are falling out.
And have it falling out.
Hell yeah. See, that's what I love about this show too, is we get so many great ideas from each other. Like we inspire each other, and like I can't tell you how many fucking times I have been on here and immediately been like, I'm going to write something about that. Or had someone Neela immediately we had a conversation on a past episode about like the Joker, and then the next time she came on, she had a piece about the Joker all written and ready for us. And that's the coolest thing about this show too, is that like we can get cool ideas off each other and vibe like that. Yeah. Randall, what you think?
So as you said, this is a story of growth and lessons learned. I was thinking, listening to the piece, I was thinking about how, so many people that we know, they don't think about their past or their memories, or they do think about them, but they try not to. They're trying to push them away with, drugs, alcohol, entertainment, and anything. The scrolling on the phone, mindlessness. And I love how you're tapping into how poetry encourages us to know thyself, to look deeply into ourselves. It's one of the highest forms of spirituality, in my opinion. So I like that you're reminding everyone of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that, man. And like I said, earlier, when you first came on, I like that you have the same mission as me, and that the we're not alone, and that's the thing I was trying to get across in my message at the beginning of the show that I say every week is you're not alone. There are other people who feel exactly how you do and want to reach out and just sometimes might not know how, and I think us as artists are here to give people the tools to do that, whether it be people who don't write or make art or other artists. We're all here to help each other and build a community, and I really love that, so thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. If you can stick around to the end of the show, stick around, because we'll have you say goodbye to the audience before you go. And that being said, I'm going to get us to Neela. What you got for us?
This one's called Ancient Stories. It's like Cinderella and True Blood.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cinderella and True Blood. Well, I mean, I love you. Like I was saying earlier, you're the queen of concepts. You're the queen of, you're the concept queen. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this is gonna go. I'm gonna just
Okay.
drop myself out of here.
No problem. This poem is called Ancient Stories. Once upon a time, I was in a castle sleeping. The slumber was vivacious due to the tranquility of it. I was warm, at peace, and smiling. Once a prince came and started filling my head with stories, fables I felt I lived from a time before. They were me walking, yet I roused to my true self. A warrior of old, the goddess of truth, and the heiress of love's power. Yet I'm in a pit of vampires, being the entertainment, but I'm the one smiling. Once I knew their story, I make them live mine. It's not a nursery rhyme either. I become the one who shines the brightest light in their cave. They try, yet I won't play who they want me to. That's the story I won't do. But all they say I can be because I love to write in infinity. That poem is called Ancient Stories.
Ooh, I really like that. I really like the rhyme scheme on that too, and that last line was great because I write in infinity. Oh, that's you're ah man. See, that's what I love about your pieces is they'll take you to a different place every time,
Yeah.
and to make you see a different perspective. They'll make you feel something different each time. And I definitely agree. This time you came in kind of more like a lamb,
Yeah.
with your performances. But no, you're still like again, you're still whether it's aggressive and in your face or kind of more tame like that, you're still being there's still depth to it. There's so much depth to what you say.
Yeah.
And that's something I really, really love. And again, you're I'm a nerd. I'm a word nerd. So the rhyme scheme is something that always gets me. And I love the rhyme scheme and how it was just very flowy, very melancholy, very, just not because something people don't realize is it doesn't have to uh with when people think of a rhyme scheme or whatever, they think of rap or like a more traditional more traditionally written poetry, you
Right.
know, and you with your, you know, the way you kind of write free verse, and where you don't give yourself any boundaries, no rules on your rhyme scheme. You just let it flow wherever it flows, and you end up hitting these internals and externals at the same time. That I don't even know if you mean to do, but it's just that's fantastic, and to do it in a you know, just kind of flowy, like, you know, soft delivery, is fantastic too. I always look for, okay, what are, you know, the lyrics, how are they setting up the lyrics, in terms of, you know, writing scheme, and then how does that compare or contrast with the flow, and I mean, they definitely fit well with each other, and you know, it was the peanut butter and jelly effect, you know. I like that. If you get what I'm saying, you know, they kind of melded together in that way. But yeah, no, and that's like I said, that's what another thing I love about your poetry is that it's a lot of it is rhyming, but it's not like what I would call in your face rhyming, right? You got to be paying attention to catch the rhymes, and how they're kind of worked in, you know. And
Well,
it's not the main focus of the piece. It's just kind of like a, you know, it's a tool. It's a
well,
tool
I'm gonna
that
give you
you use.
to talk about Eminem, but I do remember him stating that you have to kind of force the words to match with each other, like cat and maybe whack don't really rhyme, or you know, but you
Mhm.
have to force those words uh, to work in
Right.
your poetry. So especially when you're trying to deliver a vision of your piece. So yeah, I sometimes do that.
Yeah, right,
Work.
right. Like I shot up a syringe and then took a 4-inch door hinge and stabbed an orange.
Yeah, you
You
know.
know, you know,
Yeah.
like because, and that's the example he always gives in an interview is the word orange, because they say you can't rhyme it with anything. And it is, yeah, you're right. It's about bending the words so that they fit what you're trying to say, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, and you did that fantastically too. That was great. That was great. I always love your work. I always love your work. You know that you're one of my favorites.
Thank you. That's cool.
I'm gonna bring these other artists up to see what they thought. Randall, what did you think?
Uh, I like that this poem was a story poem about stories. So it felt like it was folding in on itself. You know, these stories we tell ourselves and stories others tell about. Very meta. So that was fun.
Yeah, good. Thank you. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that too. It was and that's what again, you're the way you write in this kind of, I want to call it either like perspective or maybe I'll coin the term lens poetry, you know,
Mhm.
because each one of your poems is, you know, through a different lens, and it is very meta, and just you know, kind of meta commentary on, you know, like he was saying, the stories we tell ourselves, and that, you know, you might not necessarily believe, but it's like, you know, yeah, I love that too. That was great. Brandon, what did you think?
I like the imagery of you, or of the person, the subject. I guess it's you, maybe. Being in a den of vampires there, and you were enjoying. It was like a voyeurism, or some kind of, I don't know, cat and mouse thing. I don't know. It got really dark there for me for a second, but I did
Harley,
enjoy it.
Harley Quinn. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I imagine. Yeah, I imagine like a hellscape with like a dominatrix, I guess, kind of like maybe as or not, maybe not that, maybe, but just dressed that way. That's the imagery that I got anyway. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's what you meant.
You know, I like to see where people take it.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's the
Yeah,
thing about
but
that's the thing about lens
Carla has
poetry.
true
You can
blood.
see it any way you want. You can see it through
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
Even my
absolutely.
perspective of my poetry may not be what it is. People. I like to see where the
Right,
brains take them. So it's pretty cool.
right.
Yeah, I heard an expression recently that I hadn't heard ever before, but that apparently like about everybody's used for a long time, and it's like to pick something up by a handle, and it means like to your perspective on it or your take on it. It's like, oh, you picked that up by people say you picked that up by a weird handle. It's like you have a weird look on that a normal like a unique perspective on that type of thing.
Yeah.
I just learned that expression the other day.
Okay.
And anyway, I wanted to share that because
Right.
that was it related to what we were talking about, and I have
Yeah.
ADHD.
Everything.
Has anyone else ever heard of that before? No, never heard that said. Well, then I'm not alone because I apparently it's like a big maybe in I don't know maybe in parts of the country that I'm not used to, but yeah, I've never heard that saying before, but I think I'm gonna start using it from now on. You picked that up by a weird handle. I'm gonna start saying that.
It's
Oh
like you
man.
get a British accent when you say it.
Right.
Oh, I might. Yeah. Oh, I might. I think you kind of. I think you kind of picked that up from a weird handle. That's. You know what though? I should probably stop though because we do have European audience. We have European guests that come on the show too, and I should just stop now while I'm ahead, right? Chris, what
Not
did you
making
think?
fun. I think it just sounds better.
It does.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, what I think is I imagine being inside like an ancient temple and reading like hieroglyphics, and it's like it has all these different symbols, and it's telling a story through hieroglyphics and ancient text.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. I always as Dylan always says, there's always something biblical in my stuff. There always is. And it's, it is about just seeing different perspectives. I like to look into all religions, and the root of it is all pure. So it's just, I don't know why people battle over the same concept, just told by different heads. So yeah. So it's always in there because I just love love. That's just what it is. So yeah, that's where the passion comes in the poetry.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love that. And again, the fact that you are so passionate is the reason you are one of our favorites here. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep writing. And if you can stick around to the end of the show, stick around to the end of the show. And that's gonna bring us to my man here. What you got?
All right. So I apologize about confusion earlier about because what piece I was intending to read, because I was intending to read this one first and realized, oh, my phone battery is going to die in the middle of reading it. So
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I changed topics and switched to a poem.
Okay. All right. Well, what's this one called?
This one is called Conclave at the Tea Table. It's being published in Carte Blanche next month, and I'm so happy you invited me to read because I haven't gotten to practice reading this, and they are actually paying me to do a live reading of it for their launch of their issue. So, which is cool when publishers pay you for anything. So they're paying me to publish it. Like read to boot, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
right.
whenever an artist gets their work published, I'm like, fucking congratulations. I only have a few things here and there, like in different like little anthologies or magazines, but the book's coming, guys. Just like Neela. You guys can expect a book from me and Neela. All right, the books are coming, guys.
All about the process, not the outcome. If you're too focused on the outcome, you'll never get
the journey, not the destination. Hell yeah. Thanks, man. All right, I'll let you get to it.
Conclave at the tea table. Lucy hugs me close. I'm Lucy's favorite friend. We go everywhere together. She takes me to the store, I attend church with her, and we love to go to parties together. Parties are our favorite. Lucy is hugging me because Lucy's mommy and daddy are yelling at each other again. Her bedroom door is closed, but pieces of the argument still come through clear enough to understand. Money. Waste of time. She's special. Divorce? Freak. Lord Jesus Christ, shut up! We don't understand a lot of the words, but we don't like them. The clown wonders if Lucy would like to have a tea party. The clown really enjoys his tea parties. Lucy asks me, Teddy Bear, do you want to have a tea party? I love tea parties, so I say yes. Lucy and I are exactly the same age. We're 4 years old. The tea set is older than even Lucy's mommy. That's why we have to be careful with all of the pieces. Teacups, saucers, plates, and little fragile spoons. Lucy's daddy says she is too little and might break something, but she has never broken anything. So Lucy's mommy lets her play with the tea set. Lucy is such a good girl. I sit on one side of Lucy, the clown on the other, and Mr. Frog sits across from Lucy. Lucy wears her most elegant party dress and hat. She is the prettiest girl in the world, with golden locks of hair and bright blue eyes. I'm really lucky to be her best friend. Lucy offers all the guests more tea. The clown and Mr. Frog take theirs plain. We take ours with sugar so we can be even sweeter. I ask the clown what the occasion is. He tells us that it's his birthday. Now, don't be silly, the teacup says. We know very well you had your birthday last week. The teacup is very smart about things like that. Lucy says it's because she is so very old and big. The teacup is older and bigger than all the other things in Mommy's tea set. The teacup was Lucy's special teacup. Lucy found her in an antique shop when she was shopping with Mommy. Mommy bought Lucy the teacup. Because she is Lucy's special teacup, she gets to sit in the center of the blanket. Then why are you having a tea party? Lucy and I asked the clown. The words, "You're impossible," snake under the door. That's why, says the teacup. Clown just wanted to get Lucy's mind off of Mommy and Daddy's argument. The clown nods in agreement. You know they don't have to fight like that, the teacup tells us. Nonsense, Mr. Frog croaks. Mommies and daddies have to fight. Oh, no, they don't, the teacup argues. Not Lucy's mommy and daddy. She's such a good girl that she can make them stop fighting. Lucy's mommy comes in and tells Lucy to get ready for bed. The next day is church day. We think church is okay. Mostly we play with crayons. There is lots of singing, and the preacher talks for a very long time. Lucy and I have to stay quiet. Lucy always stays very, very quiet. She always does what she's told. Even when she eats crunchy snacks at church, she chews so very quietly that no one can hear her. She is the perfect little girl. Today the preacher's talking about baby Jesus. We like baby Jesus. He was a perfect little baby, just like Lucy. After church we take a nap, but her mommy and daddy are yelling again. They wake us up. Lucy hugs me close. I tell her we should play a game. What kind of game, Teddy Bear? Lucy asks me. It's your turn to decide. You let me pick the game last time, I say. Let's play on the rocking horse. Rocking horse? Do you want to play? Lucy asks. Of course, the rocking horse replies. Climb on, and I'll take you both on a ride far, far from here. The rocking horse takes us over hills and mountains. We see waterfalls below us and rainbows above us. Eventually, we reach a place where we gallop through fields of golden corn that makes everybody who lives there rich and happy, and they don't have to worry about doctor bills or anything. At this place, Lucy is a farm girl and has lots of horses. Lucy had a horse once, but we couldn't keep it. Lucy wanted so badly to have a horse for her birthday. She was really good all year long. She was exactly like baby Jesus and never did anything bad. Then, just as Lucy was blowing out her candles, a beautiful horse jumped over the fence in the backyard. It was golden brown, like a perfectly toasted marshmallow, and had blue eyes, just like Lucy's. We were so excited that Lucy had her very own horse. Then Uncle Nathan came over the same day and said he had to take the horse to his farm. Lucy was super angry. She had been extremely good all year long, It wasn't fair that Uncle Nathan came over to take away Lucy's brand new horse. Uncle Nathan told us we could come and visit, which wasn't fair. We didn't get to see Uncle Nathan very often, and Lucy wanted to ride her horse whenever she wanted. Lucy never said anything. Lucy didn't cry. Lucy never cries. She's such a big girl. We never got to see Lucy's horse again. Uncle Nathan died in an accident with the horse, and they had to put the horse to sleep forever. After that, we started seeing Dr. Daniel. I go too, because I'm Lucy's best friend, and she takes me everywhere with her. Sometimes her mommy and daddy and us sit and talk about things with Dr. Daniel. He'll ask about Lucy's birthday party, about her Uncle Nathan, about her mommy and daddy, about her friends, and about her toys, including me. We talk a lot about feelings. Lucy always tells exactly what she feels. Lucy never lies. Sometimes just Lucy and I talk to Dr. Daniel alone. He asks a lot of the same questions, but tells us that we can tell him anything. He'll whisper like it's a secret. Lucy always tells him everything. Sometimes he gives us candy while we talk. We like the chocolate candies best. Sometimes we even get to play games. Sometimes they're easy games, like guessing what black pictures are. It's a lot like seeing things in clouds, except clouds are prettier. There's also the game where we fit blocks into the right holes, an accounting game, and an alphabet matching game. There are some games, though, that are really fun, like the pretend games. In one of those games, we stand on the couch with our eyes closed and pretend to be flying in the sky. We pretend we can feel the wind and the fluffy clouds. We always fall off the couch when we open our eyes, and that makes us laugh. For one of the games, we pretend to be different animals. Like this one time, Dr. Daniel had us crawl on the ground and roar like a lion. Sometimes we like to pretend we're kitties. Dr. Daniel just stands or sits, watching and writing. He smiles a lot, but he doesn't like to play pretend with us. There's this other game where we sit at a desk and draw pictures of different things, like people or grass, or like last time, snakes. We draw a picture, then we close our eyes and pretend that what we drew is there in the room. Last time we pretended the snakes were slithering around our feet. It felt so real that I wanted to open my eyes and look down. But Lucy didn't let me, saying that would be breaking the rules of the game. Lucy never breaks the rules. Today isn't the day we go to see Dr. Daniel, so we decide to have the rocking horse take us to a dark jungle full of snakes. We get to the jungle, and the snakes slither around us, and the rocking horse and everyone, they're all whispering with their snaky voices about how beautiful and wonderful Lucy is. There are tons of them, thousands of them, slithering up from the ground and down from the trees. Soon we aren't riding on the ground anymore because they are carrying us on top of them like a boat floating down a river, and they're all hissing in their soothing snake talk. They lead us to a tea party deep in the jungle and then slither away quietly into the trees above us. Naturally, the lion is the host of this tea party. Mr. Frog and the teacup are there too. Even though the clown really likes tea parties, he wasn't invited. He's much too silly for the lion. The lion offers us some tea and says, "You've thrown a surprise tea party for us. How very thoughtful." "Oh, we've brought you here for a reason," the teacup says before the lion can reply. Mr. Frog clears his throat with a croak and says, "Lucy, what the teacup means—" "Quiet," interrupts the lion. Lucy's mommy and daddy are fighting again. A long shriek drills through her closed bedroom door. All of us jump when we hear glass shatter on the floor. "Something must be done," the lion finally says. "Just keep pretending it's all okay." "What can we do?" I ask. "What can Lucy do?" Mr. Frog croaks. "We can fix it," the teacup says to Lucy. "Who do you think I am?" "How can I?" Lucy asks. "I'm good as can be, but that's not enough." The teacup tells her. "You have to want it enough." "Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!" "But I do want it," Lucy says. "You have to want it like you wanted that horse for your last birthday," the teacup says. "But I do want them to be happy again," she protests. "I've been extra, extra good as baby Jesus." "Why won't you just listen to me?" "Then think about it, Lucy," the lion says, "and it will happen. Really concentrate. really wish. But I'm not like baby Jesus. I can't make things better. But you can, croaks Mr. Frog. Lucy, I say, you're the most perfect, best little girl in the world. You're so wonderful, Lucy, that you can make anything you want in the whole world happen. Nobody has ever been as good as you, not even baby Jesus. But that would mean the teacup looks her seriously in the eye and says, you are.
Dude. Dude, I fucking love that. I was sitting here just absorbed in the world of it. I fucking love that story, man. It was like it was somewhere between like Alice in Wonderland and Toy Story. And then at the end, I was kind of feeling like I just watched the new this kid fucking made me buy the new what is it? Inside Out movie. I don't know if you've seen the Inside Out Pixar movies, or at least the first one or whatever, but it's they're personifications of of this little girl's emotions inside her head. And you know, but it was the reason I mentioned all three of those stories is it because they are characters, whimsical characters that are essentially personifications of a child's torment, of a child's turmoil that's going on in their brain. There's also a theory that all of the Winnie the Pooh characters are based off of mental disorders inside of Christopher Robin's head as well. I don't know if that I don't know if that particular theory is true, but I really enjoy stories like that. I know I was a very troubled kid, and you know, I just I've also like a lot of when I write, you know, I personify my own inner demons and things like that. But yeah, I really enjoy like Alice in Wonderland and Toy Story and things of that nature because they're whimsical and they're good stories while being a deep commentary on like a deep psychological commentary on children and the things that they go through and how they're affected by the world around them and their parents and all this shit. And to you know, have it be from you know, that's why I say Toy Story, because you wrote it from the perspective of the toys, much like Toy Story is. And you know, that it gives that I've always loved how it gave such a different view of, you know, say Andy or any of the other children's lives in those movies, you know. And then, you know, the how and I related to Alice in Wonderland because it was, you know, that was literally her. Also, what was the other? Oh, Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz is the other one that I was thinking of as well. Because it's, you know, it seems like it's you can't tell whether she's hallucinating or it's a dream, but what you are sure of is that these characters are personifications of her inner feelings. Whether it's a hallucination or it's real or it's a dream or what it is, whatever it is, you're not sure, but you are sure that they are reflections of herself. And I really love that. And that story holds up to any of the stories that I just named, which are some of the greats, in my opinion. So yeah, that was fantastic.
Oh, I'm glad you you know, are tapping into one of the possible interpretations for all psychological projections. And I'm curious what you thought with that interpretation. What you thought of her needing to go visit Dr. Daniel. You know, do you think this child is having psychological problems her parents are aware of, or do you think she's sort of repressing those, and there's some other aspects going on in the story?
See, that was such the great thing about it, right? And like in Al, I mean, Wizard of Oz, it's very clear that she wakes up and it's a dream, but Alice in Wonderland, you are always in the original book, Lewis Carroll always keeps you wondering if it is real or not. If she's having psychological problems, or if this is real stuff that's happening, or if like and that's what I love about your stories. You made it so that you could it's in the eye of the beholder, and you can take it. You can pick it up from whatever handle you want. I'm coining it. Yeah, no. It was a very up for interpretation type of story, in my opinion. And the answer is that I wasn't sure, and that the fact that I wasn't sure made it a better story.
Oh, well, that's fair. That's fair. Cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring these other artists up to see what they thought about it, because I'm sure they have some commentary for you. Neela.
That was like Winnie the Pooh meets Silence of the Lambs with a little bit of Orphan. It was pretty out there, but I did get the Alice in Wonderland aspect, and I knew it was gonna go a little off when it became that tea set, because people saving their tea sets. I thought the kid was gonna do something with the tea set, like it's a magical tea set or something like that, and take you somewhere. When it just took you into that kid's personality. Many movies I think of when I was hearing that, I was like, okay, this got a little dark. And then a little Penny Dreadful came in there, and it was just like, okay, this is weird, but it in a good way. It was good. It was very, and the doctor is Hannibal Lecter. Like this is his protege. It was
I
good.
kept waiting, honestly, and I'm glad that this didn't happen, but this is probably speaks to how fucked up of a mind that I have, is when you were describing the office scene, I kept waiting for the doctor to do something creepy or weird, like one of the games that they played to be something like perverted or something weird, and that's where my brain went. So, and I'm glad that didn't happen to that girl, but that's where I thought it was gonna go at first.
She had eyes closed during the games. I mean, maybe something nefarious is that's one of those sort of.
You never know, because you're
got Silence of the Lambs. That's the
crazy thing, is because you're only getting the teacups perspective, the you know what I mean. You're only getting their perspective, and there's a lot of things that.
Good one.
Even sometimes when things are happening to kids, whether it be that or other things, kids don't actually know what's going on until later in life, when they figure out, oh shit, that's what happened. You know what I mean? So it's through this blurred lens of not only the child, but then the kind of this third person perspective that you're not really sure is real, or if it's just part of the, you know what I mean? And that's really the best part of that story, is that it's all up for interpretation. It's really awesome.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Brandon, what'd you think?
Yeah, you read so well. Mr. I haven't had a chance to read this. I need to practice.
I know, right?
Really well. I mean,
the inflection on the little girl and everything.
I feel like you wrote it, right? So you know the voices. You've done this as you've read it so many times in your head that I feel like you've done it. And but yeah, so going back to Dylan's point, I was just waiting for the hammer to drop in the doctor's office, and I did feel that creepiness when she was talking about the eyes closed things, and that was weird. And then going back to the lion was a little aggressive. The lion was almost like her parents being in the room with her and interjecting into her personality, some almost like she's taking, because these kids take what they see from their environment, it becomes a part of them. If they see violence, they have a propensity to become violent. If they see love and happiness, they have a bigger propensity for love and happiness. So I saw that there, and then at the end there, I mean, I know you left it so open ended on purpose there, but like, is she the second coming of the Messiah? Like, what are we?
That's an,
She could be the fucking or she, but
Is
she could.
she Mary? Is she? But she's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like she's perfect, but described by the bear, right? Over and over again. She is perfect, perfect.
But she has a dark side. You just said right before that she has the lion.
Right, like the
She
lion.
has that dark
yeah,
side.
the lion is. Yeah, it kind of
Right.
reminds me of the bear Teddy from AI. You remember the movie AI?
yeah, I saw that along.
Steven Spielberg flick, man. If you've never seen AI, y'all should watch it. But it kind of reminds me of Teddy and the blue fairy and him just wanting to be happy. This little girl just wants to be happy, and she's trying. She's doing her best to, but it's not good enough, right? Self-proclaimed from herself. She says, "I'm doing my best. I want them to be happy, but I can't be any better than I'm being. She's not good enough." But yeah, dude, they're fucking awesome. Once again, awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
I see why you're getting published. That's awesome. Like for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Chris, what you think?
And they're paying you, right?
I was thinking about, like one of that movie, like Despicable Me, and then like the Nightmare Before Christmas, and like all these different children's books, and then like reading a story to a child, and then like the kid thinks it's gonna be like a really fun, peaceful story, but then it turns out it's not really peaceful. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Grimm's fairy tales, like they're often watered down versions, but you go back to the originals, they're quite dark. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kids, like it's probably better for us not to make our kids bottle up their emotions like Lucy, who never cries and then develops a lion inside of her.
My teacher once read this story. It was actually the principal of one of the schools I went to, and it was the graduation of that year. I only was there for a year, but it was the graduation of that year, and she read a story. And I think it was called like The Two Wolves or something, and it's about how there's always a good wolf inside you and a bad wolf, and they're like, she was reading to different age groups, so she had to keep it appropriate or whatever. So it's a very like children friendly story, but it's just about how like there are two wolves always fighting inside you, and the angel and the devil concept kind of thing, and how it's like you're always, I mean, children are blank slates, right? They're gonna go one way or the other, and they have potential for both. She's not completely perfect. She's not evil either. She's got potential for both because she's had some bad shit happen and seen some shit, and it leaves a mark, and it changes, and it's gonna be up to the experiences she has going forward, the type of person that she becomes. Whether she embraces the lion or whether she embraces, the teacup or whatever the fuck, it's but yeah, I love that. I love that piece, man. That was such a good story. Such a good fucking story. And I think that I picked now I wasn't even sure but it was going to turn out this way, but I picked the 10 responses to the question, how old are you piece, and it ended up working out because we've talked about childhood and children and nurture versus nature, and how we are brought up, and childhood affects us this whole episode. So I definitely picked the right poem for the beginning. That's really cool. I like it all wrapped up like that. But anyway, before we do wrap up completely, we're gonna get Mr. Biggs up here for his final piece, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, so this one's funny, man. All right, so yeah. Supposed to. It's supposed to be, right? So
You listen, hey man, last week I did a piece that it's supposed to be a comedy piece. The subject of the piece is suicide. It's called Suicide Note of a Chronic Procrastinator. I'll send it to you. But it's also, if anybody else wants to check it out, it's on last week's
Short.
episode.
Is it short and sweet?
It's short and sweet. It's at the beginning of last week's episode. It's about a minute. It's like a minute long, and it's. I think it's fucking hilarious. But again, the topic is suicide, so that's up for interpretation.
Right, makes it a little right.
Yeah. No, yeah. I go check it out. It's cool. But what's this one called?
This one's called "You Are the Reason."
You are the reason. All right.
And that's also part of the opening line, which it's. Come on, we're about to get it. We're gonna get it.
All right, I'm gonna get
Figure
myself
out
out
the
of
rest of it here in just a second. All right, so you are the reason, right? So you are the reason that somebody masturbates. It's like you made an impression in such an above average way that they're going to go home and think of that face in a nasty way. And I can't blame them because, dang, looking around the internet at all these fabulous faces, I might bounce up out of this chat. I'm home and I'll just do the same thing. But all kidding aside, now this is facts. Women be like, you got to be at least this tall to get on this ride, so I don't get any action. I just make these words align as jokes. I want to fertilize your yolks. I want to murder and hope that your other guy doesn't know. So don't tell him. Because after I hurt the pussy and he murders me, they're gonna gel him and you're going to be lonely as hell in this mother. But don't worry, you're beautiful. You'll bounce back from your manicured cuticles to your pronounced rack. Give me a little spin, girl. Who wouldn't want to pounce that? And I know I'm about to sound whack, but just a word of wisdom from the grown folks. Don't be a hoe. It's like you got to drive 50 miles to find somebody you don't know. That's like a road trip. So don't trip, hoe. Did you get the joke? Never mind. We're moving on. You were born in human form. You're beautiful, gorgeous, unique. You're a unicorn. Man, half of y'all are so good looking. I'm pretty sure I've seen some of you in porn, and the other half I wouldn't mind seeing in a uniform, but I can't decide between the cop and the firefighters like Natalie Imbruglia. I'm torn. Now I want you to look in this mirror and tell me that you look worse than average. But who are you comparing yourself to? Are they a good person or a bad one? Because if you don't look further than the packaging at what is actually inside, you could be chatting up Dr. Jekyll while you oogling Miss Hyde. Ma, you looks a killer. I typed your name in the Google and my computer just died. You like baby bear's porridge. Just right. So how do I prove to you that you're beautiful? I'm going to put my hands on you and turn you every which way like a Rubik's Cube. Ma, your body's rocking. You giving my little pubic dudes the people's eyebrow. All them haters out acting rude as Jude. No, thank you, Ma. Your looks are so gangster, you don't need Cupid to shoot for you. You're so beautiful that I have to assume that you're stupid too, with an IQ of 2 or 3. Because that's how beautiful you're to me.
Yo, my dude, that shit was fucking. I was sitting here literally like a high school rap circle going, oh,
It's supposed to be a silly one, right?
Bro, again, let me just fucking tell you the rhyme schemes, fucking cuticle, beautiful. Oh my god.
See, I want to make a shirt.
That whole fucking rhyme scheme. The fucking fertilize your yolks and murder thighs. Oh man, dude.
And hope that your other guy doesn't know.
You're fucking. And then again, that one was, I mean, set up fucking punchline, and it was fucking fantastic. I was literally laugh out loud the whole fucking time. Dude, man, that was fucking hilarious. I mean, I don't know how the feminists are gonna feel, but that was fucking hilarious.
Right.
I love that.
That was not for everyone for sure, but it kind of turns into a little bit of a body empowerment there towards the end, and it
does though.
It started out as a joke, but then it turns into like, okay, don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe for one, and then look at yourself, and the inside is what matters. You could be talking.
And I love how you.
Right.
I love how you like outline that, and you outlined that the true beauty is on the inside. Mm-hmm. But man, I like how you also kind of you took shots at all the OnlyFans girls while complimenting them at the same time. Like you did a weird thing there where you like complimented all the OnlyFans girls while like giving them like it was like a backhanded fucking compliment kind of thing. And it was, I really appreciated that because, I was raised mostly by a single mother who had, the perspective that sex is supposed to be special in a way, or at least mean something,
Right.
and that you're showing your body to somebody should mean something, um, other than a $16 subscription. That's how I was raised. That's very old fashioned. I'm 22 years old, and most of the people who are my age do not think that way. I understand that, and I understand that I also understand that things are expensive as fuck, and people need to fucking pay bills. You know what? And a lot of these chicks have fucking children, and they need to fucking feed their kids, and it is what it is, man. Like I don't disrespect the hustle. I am 100% pro girl get your money. I'm pro that, but I'm anti. I think the problem I can't remember where it is, but I wrote a rap sometime at one point, and I had made a comment to the effect of, you most of the girls that make OnlyFans have a deep hatred for men. Like a lot of girls nowadays, period, whether they do OnlyFans or not, have a deep hatred for men. But I had made a comment to the effect of like, you talk shit about the guys who pay your salary or pay for your food or whatever the fuck I said. And I didn't release that rap because it was like, I thought it was a little like maybe out of line, but there is an effect there where, girls are relying on men and manipulating men to pay for their bills, but turning around to all their friends and talking shit about the same men that are just supporting them. And it's just, it's not, again, I'm pro the hustle. I'm just anti the hate,
Right.
I'm pro women's rights. I'm anti hating on men. And that's what I feel like feminism has become. It has become a hate train on men. And then that's where it stops. That's what I don't, you know what I mean? That's where you lose me.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's been you get fired from your job. These girls get fired from their jobs these days. Like if you're a teacher or any respectable, career that you have, teacher, lawyer, whatever, they find out that they're a cam girl at night and OnlyFans or whatever. And then it's like, okay, you're out.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a teacher, I've heard quite a few news stories about like teachers getting fired for that exact thing.
Teachers, yeah, I mean, they hook up with kids and stuff already. I mean, that's been going on forever, but that's part of, I don't know, that's just kind of part of it. But yeah, so the pieces, but more so, I kind of turned into the body positivity. My favorite line is, well, I have two of them, but one of my favorite lines is, "You're so beautiful that I have to assume that you're stupid too." Because it's like you can't
get an IQ of 2 or 3.
Well, yeah, with an IQ of 2, yeah, I have to assume that you're stupid because it's like the the beautiful girl, the beautiful blonde, or however you want to look at that, or the jock, the Greek god.
Right, it's the stereotype. It's like, how can you have both?
Yeah, he's just absolutely just,
You're like, it's like, you're so beautiful. How can you possibly be smart too? How can you have both? That would be too good to be true.
Yeah, it's just, you're being gluttonous at this point if you got it all.
You know what? You know what? There is contrary to popular belief, there are plenty of women who have both.
They have both, and then also the interviewee. They have it all. So yeah. I mean, I've met them. My wife.
Yeah, there. And you know what? Just like there are ugly people both on the inside and outside. You know, that goes for all genders and all races and all cultures. You know, there's assholes and ugly people in everywhere. You know. But I like, you know, and something we've talked about earlier in this episode is, you know, just, you know, being your true self and being beautiful on the inside, and, you know, fuck anybody who doesn't like what they see. If you don't like what you see, look away.
Right.
You know, I'm just going to be me, 100% me, and embrace my full self. And like he was saying, tell my full story. And, you know, and if you don't like it, then get fucked.
Right.
You know, and that's the best way to live your life, honestly, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. I do that.
Absolutely, man.
Please
Well,
yes, please
I'm gonna bring these other artists up real
Sure.
quick. Neela.
Yay. I absolutely loved it. I went to a poetry slam, and the theme was exotic poetry, and yours, like, it was exotic, it was offensive, it went a little political, it was good. So it was a totally different perspective on an exotic poetry, but to me it reminded me of exotic,
Right.
erotica, half porn, half, knowledge,
Yes.
wisdom. So yeah, it was really good. I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris.
I like, I just like how, it just rhymes, and I just like the whole structure of the poem, how it's put together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I work very hard on these things. I don't write, so I spin them in my head like a. You ever seen a spider curate his web? He's very meticulous. He goes in a certain order. He doesn't retouch spots of the web like it is. But sometimes he does have to go back and fix a spot, mends a spot. So that's where I'm at. I go back, and then it becomes this. It becomes like this, and then or it's like this. And it becomes more organized the more I spin it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean, man. I like that. I mean, I've never been able to describe exactly how I write, but like you just took the fucking words out, like a spider web. That is such a fucking cool metaphor for dude.
And it turns into something, It's like you it's like you have all the words, but you don't know where they go yet. That's kind of the way it is sometimes. Like I wrote the end of that before I finished it.
Yeah.
Like I started it and I wrote the end of it, and then I wrote the middle of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I write
I like what you just said about how sometimes I have the words and I don't know where to put them yet. Like I'll often literally just write broken phrases. Like so like I'll jot down, I'll be like terrified, scared to die, but pair of eyes, and I'll just like a couple phrases that I might use later that like, I might work into something. And I'll do that all the time. That is precisely how I write. Is I know what I want to say, and I know some rhyme schemes that I could possibly use. It's just finding the way to make the two fit together and say what I'm trying to say while rhyming the way I want to rhyme. Hello, Brandon. That's my buddy Brandon, our producer. Sometimes he just pops in and says hello for a minute. But yeah, man, that's a great way to fucking describe your writing style. That's awesome. Randall, what did you think?
This was lewd, funny, fear-worthy wordplay, with a few nuggets of truth between the chuckle. I really want to recommend Elaine Scarry's book on beauty and being just. That's Elaine and Scarry's Scarry. It's super short book, but just one of the best things I've ever read on aesthetic philosophy. Fantastic writer, and she just delves into beauty and how it can be so problematic, and she rips it apart, dissects it, looks at it from every angle. So well worth a read if you're interested in why we all have such strong opinions about beauty.
Right.
Very true.
Hell yeah,
That's-
man.
I like that writing style. Sometimes I'll start my poetry off with the ending because it just happens, or sometimes it's just,
Yeah, you don't know. Sometimes
The-
you don't know that's the end, and then you're like, man, this is an ending of a poem, and you have to
Right.
kind of work backwards.
Mhm.
yeah,
Find the story that leads you to here. You know.
exactly.
Everything I write is like that. I usually have the end first.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
you always
actually,
happen at the end of your story before you even begin to write it.
Yeah, the very
Yeah.
last line
Yeah.
of the piece I just read. Yeah, it's I had that in a notebook for probably a year or two, and then it turned into a story. So
And it happened, right?
I've done that a few times, and it's actually so. Sometimes I'll take like, I'll write the beginning of something, and that'll stay in a notebook for a while, and then I'll work off of that. But sometimes like I'll do exactly like you guys were saying, and so with this one piece I had, some people might know it's called "Speaking to Demons," and it's a piece where I literally go back and forth and speak to my inner id or my inner demon, and the end is, so there's two different voices throughout the whole thing, and it's my demon and then me, my demon, and going back and forth, and then at the end I blend my voice together into my normal speaking voice that I'm coming to you with now, and the verse I say is and that's just a sneak peek of the things my demons all say when they're speaking to me. And as you can see, my demons and me, we don't always agree. And then like there's more off of that, but that little part, that's just a sneak peek of what they're speaking to me. And as you can see, that part I actually wrote way before I wrote the rest of the piece. And it was, because I always knew that was, when I had the concept for the piece, I knew that was going to be the ending. It was going to be, well, as you can see, this is what's going on. Me and my demons don't always agree. And I love, it's not often that I'm able to do that, but I love when I get to do that because it creates a very unique narrative.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I write the title first before I write the poetry piece.
Mm.
Really?
Hmm.
I don't even title mine until they're done. Like
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
I like drag a title out of the and it's usually like the first line, or it's like this is like the first line, and then both of them I did tonight actually are literally "Holy moly," which is the first words, and this is the first words. I just kind of
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that weird? Should I be more fixated?
No.
on words?
No, I think I like the way you do it, but like me, like sometimes with my titles, like I'll feel this pressure that if it's like, oh, I've written 16 bars, or I've written however many bars, and a lot of them, like this one I'm working on now, tentatively titled with two asterisks around it, Golden Gloves, because the beginning of it has a lot of boxing metaphors, had a very, like you were talking about, that song Phenomenal had a very phenomenal type vibe. So I named it that tentatively, but now I feel this pressure to like keep going with the boxing metaphors and add more boxing metaphors in there because it's called Golden Gloves, and you know what I mean. And it's like, but you
it
know
could
what I
be
mean.
direction. Sometimes I mean that's why a lot of
It could give you direction, or it could limit you. It could go,
yeah. So
and that's
looking for me. That's why poets learn the classical forms, because limiting yourself, constraining yourself will force you to make creative choices and actually be even more creative through those limitations.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. That's a good point. My writing teacher once made me write a whole story using just dialogue, and it pushed me out of my comfort zone, and it was very. I mean, one of the most creative things I've ever done. So yeah, I see your point. I do see your point. I like that perspective. See, it's a great thing about this show. We get so many different perspectives and get to see the world so many different ways. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Before we get out of here, one thing I like to do before I get out of here is give anybody the opportunity to say anything they'd like to the world, whether it be an anecdote, a piece of advice, whatever it may be. Brandon, now's your time.
No, just thank you for having me. I've enjoyed everyone tonight. Chris, your branding, Neela and Randall, your writing. I like everything that you're doing. And where did you say your poem? Whenever you get to speak, tell me where your short story is going to be published again.
Oh, it's going to be in Carte Blanc. Is that Carte and Blanc? That's and it will be. I'll actually be doing another partial reading of it. They don't want me to read the whole thing. They want to entice
Get people to read the right.
Yeah.
But I'll be reading part September 4th.
Nice. Yeah. Everybody definitely go check that out because I'm excited for that shit.
Yeah, look up Carte Blanc magazine so you find the right one.
Hell yeah. Neela, is there anything you would like to tell us? Or say
well, with Randall, his the second story, I was also going to refer to. Do you know Frida McFadden, or have you heard of her? Mm-hmm. She's a really good mystery writer. She's one of those writers where it's just all about the writing and tying you in, taking you around in circles and things of that nature. And that story reminded me of a future character of one of her books. And the book is called War D. Frida McFadden. And I'm telling you, like, her books, they take you there. So, yeah. But that character reminded me of, like, that character older, because the character is a girl who is becoming a doctor. And she's doing her, residency at a psych ward of a best friend that she had when she was younger. And the best friend basically exposes, like, girl, you're schizophrenic. Like, you have your nerve to be calling me crazy when you're the one who's crazy. How are you a doctor? How did you get here? But yeah, and that's just, so it reminds me of one of those characters. Other than that, I felt everybody's pieces were really great. And I love getting introduced to new things, new people, and things of that nature. So it was really nice. I love it. Love the show as usual, Dylan.
Hell yeah. Thank you for being here. Can't wait to have you back.
No problem.
Chris?
Yes, so thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate that. It's really fun sharing my poetry, meeting other poets and hearing their poetry. And, just mentioning my Poetry Roots brand and, the poetry store, all the different things that I sell on my poetry store, like T-shirts and hats, coffee mugs, all kinds of different things. So, you can check that out too. But again, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. And yeah, definitely everybody go check out his website, his merch shop, and everything everybody's got going on, everybody's websites, everybody's Instagrams and Twitters and TikToks. I will put them all up. I'll just put their flyers up on the Lostboys YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook. That's something I'm been thinking about doing, is just putting you guys' flyers up either before or after the show, just so everybody who doesn't want to go rewind and see what the fuck you said or what the fuck I said could just have the flyers up on the Lostboys. So I'm gonna start doing that for you guys, so you guys can have your shit out there. We appreciate it. Randall, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. Wow. It was great meeting all of you. So it was awesome hearing your works. Quite creative. Quite good too. And if anyone did like my writing, well, maybe you'll like those who influenced me. So, and it was mentioned Alice in Wonderland. Absolutely, big influence. I mean, you see the little tea set, and well, of course, your mind goes to Alice in Wonderland. As well as some of you may not be familiar with D.H. Lawrence's The Rocking Horse Winner, about a boy riding a rocking horse. And it's quite a creepy little piece.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
You can
that one growing up.
Okay, yeah. And then for my poetry, probably one of my biggest contemporary influences would be Richard Siken. Can't recommend Siken's, that's Siken. Can't recommend his collection Crush enough. Absolutely phenomenal writing.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well,
yeah.
Thank you all so much for being here. Chris, it is so great to have you as the newest member of our family. I hope to have you on many, many times. Your fucking shit was great, man. Very deep, very intellectual. Just, you know, you're going to fit right in here. I love the mission that you're on. I love everything that you do. Keep doing what you're doing, and we can't wait to have you back. Neela, as always, you are the sunshine of the Lost Boys. You infect us with your personality. You are just, it's just, I can't say enough great things about you. You're just so great, and it's such an honor to have you on here every time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Randall, man, you're everybody, and they used their opportunities to speak to the audience, to comment on your work. And that should speak to how fucking amazing it was. And you're saying if anybody enjoyed that, we all enjoyed that. It was fucking amazing. And I find it I find it easier to find good poets than I do to find good fiction authors. And I don't know if that's just they're more vocal and text me more, but it is, you know, the fact that I find such talented fucking authors and people able to tell stories like you, man, it's fucking fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. Congratulations on the publication, and we'll catch you again next time. Brandon, thank you so much, man. Like I am one of your biggest fucking fans. Your flow, your cadence, your like as a wordsmith, like I idolize you a little bit, man. Like for real, like you're doing things that I am just learning to do, and you're mastering them, and it is just fantastic. I am fucking biggest fan, man. I can't wait to have you back on the show. It's been a pleasure. Everybody else, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. Everything else means everything you guys do for me, whether it's a like or a comment or just sharing something or watching the show for a couple minutes. It means the world, and it does so much for my own headspace, my self-esteem, this show, and everyone who's on it. And thank you all so much. I really couldn't do without you. Make sure you guys go follow us and subscribe to us. Thank you, and thank you, Brandon, for supporting us and putting everything up on the screen and everything else. Thank you so much, Brandon. Yeah, here we go.
Quick.
We love you, bro. Thank you. We appreciate you. Go
Hey, I just want to say, I want to say one thing real quick.
Absolutely.
All of you tonight killed it. I loved it. It was amazing. I enjoyed every minute of it. You all got this key to my heart now. Like, keep going with what you're doing. You guys are crushing it. I loved it. Thank you. Sorry. I'll get out of here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Nah. Thank you, Brandon, for everything you do. Yeah, go follow us and subscribe to us on all the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Pandora, anywhere else you find your podcast. Keep a lookout for our deep cuts, one-on-one interviews with artists, which another one is coming to you this week. I promise I'll get it done, people. Keep a lookout for our outdoor adventure vlog with me and Brandon fishing and hiking in the woods. And if you want to donate to us, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, LostBoy420X, 10 cents to $10. Anything helps. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch us next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We out, guys.